way you do me. It's the way you do me. It's the way you do me. That I can't do. It makes me wanna stay another. No. And every little thing. Turn me on. Turn me on. Hold on, I'm about to put the link in the chat. Hold on. Hold on. My bad, y'all. I had to get technical difficulties. I just wanted to make sure my levels was right before we go live. You know. Hold on. I want to share this live first. Let me just share this out. This is going to be a good show. I had enqi up here before, but I think I had him on my first channel. I forgot when enqi first came up here, but you know, me and enqi doing it again. Shout out to Dr. enqi. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a great conversation. We're gonna touch on everything. And one thing about me, let me just pin the link. Every little thing you do just make me wanna stay another day. Word. Hey, yo, get out of here. Big raccoon. That's a fact. I don't even be knowing that. See, big raccoon be knowing that. Oh, that Inky in the building. Yo, Doc Inky, what's good?
What's going on, Bulletz?
I'm good, family, and yourself. How you?
Fresh air, clean water. You know, I'm alive.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yo, Ink, you been on my I forgot I had you up here like a while back, a long time ago. You had came up here to my channel, man. I forgot, man. It's been a minute since you been up here.
Yeah, you used to be on my channel in my chat room before. Well, I probably
Yeah,
was out of the loop, but I seen you on my channel before I seen you on Hassan channel.
that's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yeah,
That's a whole
yeah,
fact. That's a
yeah.
fact.
A lot of people be forgetting that people have different tastes. Nobody just
Yeah,
consumes one type of content. Nobody just
fact.
only watch football or only watch,
Mm-hmm.
gossip or only watch the
Yeah,
news or like we watch everything. You know what I'm saying?
that's a
So
fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. I just want to say salute to you, Inky, man. You've been making your rounds out here, man. I was watching the situation with Zip with the drip, 050, 10 toes down, the whole thing that was going on, what you was saying about the community and all that. And one thing I say when we had these conversations, a lot of people is not ready for these type of conversations because they not ready to hold themselves accountable for the stupidity they put out there. So when I saw you, Inky, you reached out, I said, nah, I gotta do this with Inky, man, because I saw what was going on. I saw how the agenda was. You know, dudes was not trying to hear what you was trying to say because you was speaking facts. And I was like, nah, we gonna do this on my channel and we gonna address everything, man. But hey, man, what's going on, man? Explain what really happened there, because I just saw bits and pieces. I saw the Sarnetta build. I saw the thing with 10 toes on your channel and on Sarnetta platform. How this whole thing started with you and these brothers, man? Like, what's going on, Hank?
so 10 actually started it. Well, I can't say he started, but my reaction to his video. But because in the situation, I guess it seemed like I was the aggressor. People felt like I was the one. Like I'm always, no matter what's happening, people
Mm-hmm,
always just assume that I'm the one starting trouble for whatever reason. But
mm-hmm,
10 had did a video, and in the video, he was saying like Zip, 050, Hassan, like the platforms. He was saying like the dirty
yeah,
section of YouTube is the
yeah,
reason why New York is not winning, or the reason New York is losing.
mm-hmm,
And so I watched it, and
mm-hmm,
halfway through, I called up Tom. I'm like, bro, I'm getting ready to make a video responding to 10. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to go at 10. I know that they family. So I hit Sa to let him know before, you know, and he like, well, hold on. Before you start going at 10, let me call 10 up and see if, you know, we can. So when he got on the phone, I'm like, yo, you know, you listed all these other people in the video, but you ain't add yourself to it. And then he started responding. I was like, yo, just with Sa cut us off and was like, yo, y'all want to have a sit down and properly, you know, discuss this in a, you know, in a nice format. And so we did that. And soon as we did that video, Zip made a response immediately, like, yo, I seen the video Dr. Enqi did. I went right to your page, Dr. Enqi, and unfollowed you and blocked you and blah, blah, blah. So Zip immediately took it personal, you know, as if I only singled him out, or as if he didn't understand that I was responding and not necessarily saying that Zip by himself is the entire problem. For me, it's the facade that you know, the fake shit that people are pretending to live by, or pretending to idolize, or pretending to want. And you know, that's just where I came in. I'm like, yo, we got to get some balance. It's nothing wrong with the street shit because we all enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like you will hear somebody say, oh, you know, well, the street this and the street that and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, because the same nigga gonna go get in his car and turn on Rick Ross or Drake or whatever and drive off to it. But the problem is no balance. So I was just saying that we need to have some balance going across the board because, you know, right now we got just foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Like we got Hassan Campbell representing, you know, being a Muslim. We got Zip representing being a Muslim. And then that's another thing me and Zip got into it about, because he's trying to defend his right to sell crack as a Muslim and his right to, you know, constantly roll blunts and do what he's doing as a Muslim. So we wind up debating, can a Muslim, a practicing Muslim, can a good Muslim pump crack? Like, is pumping crack permissible in Islam? Now, for some people, that just might sound crazy, the idea of even having a question about, is it permissible in Islam to sell crack? And why is that even a big issue? Why is that even an issue to even discuss on the internet? It's an issue because where people that have voices in the community are leading the community. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to realize that Zip is a movie star. Zip has charisma. Zip is funny. Zip is talented. But once you pop up out of New York and you're now a voice for New York, people taking what you're saying as a representation of what things are. And you're not and you're not a representative of the real Muslim culture if you talking about selling crack and you know it's just nothing but rolling blunts all day. And respectfully, nobody's online 24 hours a day. Not even Kai Cenat. Kai Cenat is not online 24 hours a day. So it's not necessarily always what you do, but how you do it. Zip is online for the most, maybe 2-3 hours a day. You could smoke, you could smoke before the video and then smoke right after the video. Like as a Muslim, as a human being, let's just say this, as a human being, none of us are perfect.
That's a fact.
Everybody's trying to perfect themselves, or at least we should be trying to better ourselves a little bit every day, but we slip. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's pretending to be perfect. But you're promoting a culture that runs counter to what your primary objective is, at least from what I hear, right? Because he's
Hey, yo, enqi, sorry for
yeah.
cutting your wisdom,
No. Feel
but
free.
like what you saying, I totally agree with, because I got a lot of family members that was practicing Muslims that went to the 116 miles. You know what I'm saying? That basically they wasn't smoking, they wasn't drinking. You know, they didn't do none of that backbiting, because in the Quran it tells you backbiting is like eating your brother's flesh. So when you got dudes like Hassan Campbell or Ten Toes or Zip, China Brim, that are practicing Muslims, that say they practice Islam, that say they going, they take prayer and all that, but I never seen these brothers do a post one day at, after Juma. I never seen them go to Juma with their garms on, or I never seen them break down the Quran. You know what I'm saying? And talk about certain things that go on. I never seen them do that. I saw a song try to do a video talking about the five pillars of Islam,
Yo,
but where was those videos?
hold up. See, look, Hassan is a funny nigga because Hassan Campbell is trying to do everything in his power to avoid from saying my name on his platform. And
Facts.
I don't even know where this deep-seated pun intended maybe, but this deep-seated beef. I don't even know where this deep-seated beef between me and him come from. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? Because
Facts.
we have never did no exchange videos. Or now, when he first came to Sarnetta with his story,
Yeah.
maybe he still feel away from that, because I was one of the people that did not support. Like I didn't go out there when they had the press conference on
Yeah.
125th.
Cause I know Polite was out there, but you wasn't out there, enqi. I remember.
Yeah. I got the phone calls. You know what I'm saying? Doggy Diamond was pumping it.
Yeah.
Sarnetta was pumping it. I got the phone calls,
Yeah.
but because I was from the Bronx, and I know being from the Bronx, and really being outside in the Bronx, we heard a lot of different stories about Bambaataa,
Fact.
but we never heard those types of stories.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So for me, I was like, well, I can't just jump out there on video and go against Bambaataa till I gotta see or hear some more evidence. Just
Fact.
saying that a guy named Hassan said XYZ, I mean, that's cool, but we don't know Hassan. Like we just like,
Fact.
you know what I'm saying? Like this is all happening out of the blue. So it wasn't even a matter of me like victim shaming or not trusting or whatever the case may be. It's just, here's somebody we know. We've never heard any allegations like this before. And some brand new person we don't know just pops up and says, yo, XYZ. I'm like, there's no pushback. There's no, like, we just going to vocalize this to the world. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now, from that time going forward, more information done came out. So
Yeah.
people are on other
Hey,
sides
yo,
of
enqi.
the
I'm not gonna lie. You did the smartest thing you did was not showing up, because now it's coming out that all this shit was bullshit. Because Beast thing is putting out there like it's all bullshit now.
Well, what B Stinger is doing, if you listen to what B Stinger is saying, B Stinger is not saying that they did not have any type of sexual contact. What B Stinger is saying is that he presented himself as somebody who was of age.
Mm-hmm.
So again, you know, it's just a challenge to Hassan Campbell. And when B Stinger keeps saying and he find his closure, a lot of people, they think that the closure he's saying is just strictly with Bambaataa, but if you was to put out false information like this and watch a man's legacy tarnish, you would feel a way about that. So he could be saying he getting closure from these lies and all these, you know. To be honest, we never gonna know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like as a people, we never gonna know. You know what I'm saying? Like Bambaataa is, because of these stories, it's making it seem like Bambaataa is more relevant than. Think about this. If not for the Hassan Campbell stuff and all this, would we be discussing Africa Bambaataa? Like, what?
No.
Nobody would be discussing Africa Bambaataa.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So
we wouldn't.
So I just, you know, it's just levels to how people interact and the things that people prioritize as important. I think that Hassan Campbell is feeling the pressure from watching me and Zip go back and forth, and Zip trying to prove that selling crack is cool and rolling blunts is cool and all that, based on the fact that he said he's not a Sunni Muslim, he's a Shiite Muslim. So he's saying that in his type of Islam, because so what happens is this: me and Zip having a debate.
Hey yo, enqi, when you said that, I don't know no black niggas that Shiite Muslims. Everybody I know is Sunni Muslim. Where he became a Shiite, that
bro, that listen. So he said he is a Shiite Muslim. So here's how it goes. So on the debate, right?
Yeah.
We having a debate, and a part of debate. So I don't hate, you know what I'm saying? I just know, like, I be comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Because I know there's the live crowd watching, and then there's the people that's gonna watch it back on video. The live niggas, they gonna go with the energy and the swag and the bravado and who voices the loudest and all kind of shit like that. But the people that's gonna really pay attention later on, they're gonna go back and see if you all wise, right, and exact or not. So while he's saying things, I'm just letting him say the craziest shit on earth. And he think like the things he's saying is like hitting, like, yeah, I'm making you look stupid up here, enqi. I'm showing you and proving that the Quran say, as long as you know your prayer, you could be high if you. I'm like, all right, if that's what the Quran say, I guess you figure that we just be arguing and debating these things that we never investigated or we never was a part of. I guess maybe in your mind, you're assuming that I was never a practicing Muslim. I guess in your mind, you're assuming that we have never read the Quran before. Like you may be the only Muslim on earth. So, you know, with that conversation with me and Zip, it's like Zip was telling me in the middle of the argument, go to the scholars. If you have if you don't understand what I'm saying or you disagree with what I'm saying, go to the scholars. So then I took that video. I went to after the debate, I went back, chopped out that portion of the video. And every time he tell me to go to the scholars, I put the clip in of what the scholars are saying. Yo, Zip was so mad, the nigga jumped in my chat room and started going crazy in my chat room and said, well, I'm not a Sunni Muslim. I don't know why you got the Sunni Muslim, because I'm a Shiite Muslim. So I only listen to the Ayatollah. I'm like, what kind of Lone Ranger shit? I like, but I think Hassan Campbell is, you know, he's doing Hassan Campbell, you know, he spends a lot of time working on his YouTube, his brand, his image, his videos. Like, he likes to make it seem like everything he does is impromptu. Like, but he spends a lot of time planning content and trying to strategically move shit around. So he reading the tea leaves and he trying to get out in front of shit in advance because he know his name is trending in these subjects. He just trying to avoid saying Dr. Enqi. So he jump out the gate with a 5 pillars of Islam video. Like, my nigga, we done seen you promoting liquor for all these. Like,
Yep.
you it's too late. You can't 5 pillars of Islam that away. Like, and I think that some people believe that some people may be so arrogant that they believe their presence is a charity that is such a charity that it overrides what else you're doing. Like meaning Zip may think in his mind that he's such a big personality that him saying I'm a Muslim is so beneficial to the Muslim culture that it's okay if he's saying, oh yeah, if I could get me a good number on some crack, I sell me some crack right now. The Quran don't say nothing about crack. If I could get a good number on crack right now, I'd be selling some crack. Like, nigga, what are you? Or maybe Hassan thinks that, you know, with all the liquor and the drunk, like the being intoxicated out in the middle of the street, yelling in the project, like none of that's Muslim. None of that's.
Hey, Enqi, I was on here the other day. I said, you know, when I look at like a brother that turned his life around, that's Deaning, is a man, aka Loon. Like that's a brother that's really a real true Muslim. You know, he said, I ain't listen to music. I stopped listening to music. I'm not indulging in none of that old life. I'm strictly about the Quran. I'm strictly about that. These dudes be using that, and then they, like you said, they promoting liquor, they promoting weed, and in the Quran it tells you you're not supposed to be promoting none of that, not even materialism. You ain't supposed to be promoting materialism.
Listen, let me say this, right? Here's my question for Zip that I want Zip to respond to. Why did you stop being an active gang member and switch to become a Muslim? Because to me, if you're a gangbanger and you active and your name ringing bells and niggas respect you and all that, and you know you who you is, well respected, you know what I'm saying? Intact reputation is, you know, flawless, family reputation flawless, all that, you know. Let's just if that's the case, there's no reason to become a Muslim unless you want to give up the things that belong to that old lifestyle and adopt a new, more positive lifestyle. So that's the part that I don't understand, where people feel like, okay, well, I'm gonna become a Muslim, but then I'm gonna still be pumping, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna still pump this whole old, you know, the whole if I could get me some crack right now, I'll be selling it. I'm just looking for a good number. You know what I'm saying? Like, huh? What Muslims, like, how, Sway? You know what I'm saying? And like, he did a response video to me where he was showing the analytics. He was like, yo, y'all talking about teaching them babies. Ain't no babies watching us. But nah, those is all excuses. Anybody that's being watched is an influence to everybody that's watching them, even people that's not watching them. And what I mean by that is, you might not have no teenagers, no children. You might not even have no 20-year-old folks watching you. But if you influence the streets, that means you influencing big homies. That means you influencing actual fathers that do have kids at home. That means you're influencing big brothers, uncles, big cousins. you're influencing the people who influence the baby. So it's no way to take the responsibility off yourself once you step out into the public.
Mm-hmm.
Once you step out into the public, you're an example for the people that's watching you, period. And the people that's watching you, they're buying into the lifestyle. And when they may be on, like when they may be 50-50, like it's going to be people that's thinking of changing their diet, watching Zip, and then what Zip is going to be saying. Oh, Dr. Sebi was capping. All that's bullshit. Give me a steak and some tap water. So those people that might have been 50-50 on the ropes to figuring, oh, let me change. Let me do something more positive. Let me see what Zip think. Yeah, Zip ain't. Niggas ain't jacking this. Niggas ain't jacking it. That's the lingo. Niggas ain't jacking this. I'm gonna keep doing what I've been doing. Or if you see Hassan, like for instance, Hassan started his whole career from arguing with Sonetta. Nothing he did in that early space was intentional.
Nope.
He was beefing with Sa, and him beefing with Sa created a huge following because a lot of people felt like he was a real victim and people wanted to support that. Then you also had a lot of people that was listening to niggas like Professor Griff. You know what I'm saying? For a long time. And Professor Griff wasn't the only one, but he was one of the people talking that Illuminati is in the hip hop shit. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody always say that the rappers that's more successful than them did some gay Illuminati shit right up until the point where one of those rappers is next to them and then they standing there taking pictures with the nigga. Like these niggas be frauding. But Griff was promoting that. A lot of people was promoting that. Anybody successful in rap, music, sports, whatever, they got to do some gay Illuminati shit. So all of those things contributed coming together in one moment called Hassan Campbell.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, and he was watching enqi. Let me say this: he was watching you. He was watching Polite.
Of course,
he was watching Seti. You know, and then all this talk about the being Native American. He was taking Dane Calloway, so he was taking a lot of dudes' content, gumboing it up,
of course,
and mixing it like it was his.
Yeah, of course. And my only problem with that is we ain't went nowhere. I mean, Polite went to jail. He went where he went, but why don't you have balance on your platform, Hassan? It's nothing to have Dr. Enqi on your shit once or twice a month to provide some balance. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to find Seti ass running around. I don't know where the fuck Seti is, but Seti's still around moving. You know, it's nothing to get Seti on there once or twice a month to talk his Black Power shit. Like, it's not to say stop doing what you're doing. Obviously, we talk about Hassan Campbell. 500,000 people love what you're doing, clearly, right? So it's not to say stop doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's just where's the balance? You know what I'm saying? And people like you as you are. You don't have to fake. Like you don't have to fake Muslim. Like everybody can't be everything at all times. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't need to pretend to be Muslim or conscious or pretend to be like people already like whoever you are that you present to them already. You know what I'm saying? Like who you are authentically. You don't need to pretend to be Muslim because you cannot be a real Muslim and you drunk all the time or even half the time. Like that's not a thing. Especially if you have so little respect for Islam that you film yourself drinking. You film yourself going out to have drinks with other niggas. You film yourself drunk in the middle of the projects. Like it's one thing to say to myself, okay, well, I'm a Muslim, but hey, listen, I'm getting ready to have me a drink, nigga. That's whatever. I'm getting ready to have me a drink, or I'm getting ready to sit down and roll this blunt up. You know what I'm saying? That's where you're supposed to say, you know what I'm saying, may Allah forgive me. or astaghfirullah, you know what I'm saying? And then do
Mm-hmm.
what you do, but keep that off the screen, because what only thing that should hit the screen as a practicing Muslim is shit that's going to inspire other people to be better.
Facts.
Period. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
You gotta give that image like, oh shit, yeah, I wanna become a, like, the only reason the Nation of Islam grew
Mm-hmm.
with Malcolm is because Malcolm conducted himself in a way where other black men was like, oh wow,
Yep.
Islam did that for him. Let me see if I can join up and maybe Islam can make me better.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But once it becomes something that's, you know, basically like trash can shit. Like anybody could just become Muslim, and then you don't got to
Yeah.
change your life. You could continue to eat the pork. You could
Yep.
continue to smoke the pork. You could continue to drink the pork. Like once it becomes where there's no lifestyle change, you're
Yep.
not really a Muslim. You're just calling yourself a Muslim, but
Yep.
you can't call yourself a Muslim without, you know. So, you know, that's where it is. It's like, yo, you know, I'm the genuine article. When we put this shit all into perspective, it's only one nigga that these people seen online that been teaching these babies out here for X amount of time and actually doing it with his own babies.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these niggas collecting a lot of cash apps and super chats and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And these niggas is deadbeat baby daddies. They behind on child support or all kind of crazy shit that just goes counter to what it is we trying to build as a culture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's how we build as a culture. We have to select individual behavior that we trying to replicate, and we got to reward that.
Mm-hmm.
You know
That's
what
a
I'm saying? Niggas
whole.
taking care of their babies, they need to get rich because they like, I'm trying to create a new lane, a
Mm-hmm.
totally new lane, meaning you can be an entrepreneur, you could be financially successful. Like here's a path where you can go down. You can teach, you can
Mm-hmm.
write books, and you can teach, and you can do all of the things that you need to move around. You don't need to pretend, because see, a lot of pretending is becoming real. That's what's
Facts.
going on right now. The pretending is becoming real. So because you got to have this image, right? And a lot of the guys that's claiming they out here to reach the youth, what they doing counterproductive. Because
Yep.
they tell the youth, yo, you ain't really about this prison life. I'm telling you, when you get into prison, it's gonna be like this and like that, and you ain't really about that. The kid, they think they giving a positive message to the kids, but they not. What the kids is hearing is a challenge. Young men get a challenge to their ego. They like, oh, so this nigga think I'm not tough enough to make it in prison, or this nigga think I'm not tough enough to bust my gun, or I'm not tough enough to make me a few dollars on the block. So now you go to a kid that might have been looking 50-50, but now you have solidified he's gonna try to prove that he's tough enough to da. What we have to show is that that's the quick way out. That's the sucker route.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sucker route. It's more difficult to fight than it is to bust a gun. It's more difficult to take the short money and make the sacrifices with the short money. Like for instance, I got a lot of people from my neighborhood. When I got out the street, they stayed in the street. We still keep in touch. They take pictures next to cars. They take pictures in the jewelry store. When niggas ask me what I got going on, I take pictures next to my kids.
Mm-hmm.
So when you take your picture next to your car, I'm going to take my picture next to my children, because you invested your time and your money into that car. I'm going to invest my time and my money into these kids. When you show your pride and joy, you're standing next to that car, like, yeah, you know, I done put 60,000 in the rims. I had to pay 80,000 off the lot, whatever the numbers is. That's your pride. That's where your time and your energy went. This is the shit that niggas regret on their deathbed, because you can't change your memories. So, you know, a lot of people sacrifice their time with their kids preparing for other shit. Like you stop in the house, you know, make sure there's money, is food around. All right, cool. Yo, get my clothes. I'm about to get dressed. I'm about to go out over here. I'm about to go. You ain't spent no time with them babies. You know what I'm saying? Like this is the shit, that the real shit that we need to be discussing. You know what I'm saying? We got rappers that got platinum plaques. These niggas doing, you know, videos showing walkthroughs of their house with big, tall fucking sneaker collections. Like, my nigga, you got platinum records and the only thing you can show us is a fucking sneaker collection?
It's crazy.
Or you got basketball players sign $100 million deal and they showing you a walkthrough of their house to show you their sneaker collection. Because even as a platinum artist, even as a multi-million-dollar athlete, these niggas still feel compelled to pretend to somehow live the drug dealer lifestyle. Like, what are you doing as an NBA player showing me your collection of Jordans, my nigga? Like, that's a street thing from the people that was there at the time. If you wasn't there in the 80s or the 90s, what are you showing your sneaker collection for? This was people in poverty, first of all, that couldn't afford shoes. So niggas was using toothbrushes at night to clean the white part with Clorox bleach and dishwashing liquid and shit like that, and getting multiple pairs of shoelaces to match with the outfits. And you couldn't buy swag, you couldn't buy style, you couldn't buy uniqueness. Like, now people think they could just buy swag, you could just buy style. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of different things that need to unpack, that we need to have real conversations about. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'll get the ranting and
Nah, enqi, you right about that, man. Because I look at it like this, right? Dudes like Hassan, I saw when you was talking to China Brim, Zip, you know, even 10 Toes. These are men that are in the Hassan in his late 40s, 10 in
Well,
his
let me say
50s.
this about 10. Look, because 10 issued me a challenge. I've been on my shit. I issued 10 a challenge. He been on his shit. So far, I can't say nothing but good things about 10, because he kept his word to me.
He did.
And
He did.
so I try to deal with niggas based on my experience. Like, I don't care what nobody else say about you until I see it for myself. Then, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But
Like, when I look
no,
at
I didn't mean to
Hassan,
interrupt you. Go ahead.
no,
Yeah.
you good. But when I look at Hassan and I look at Zip and I look at China, but I'm like, damn, man, these is dudes. And it's not only them, it's even the dudes that's the rappers, man. It's like, these dudes should be at a certain age, man, should be out here teaching the youth about financial freedom, you know, showing about economics, telling them, yeah, you could be an entrepreneur. Like, I made it on the internet. I ain't had to go sell a pack. I'm doing it legitimate on the internet. You could do it legitimate on the internet. But instead, they want to keep fueling the nonsense. You know what I'm saying? We tired of hearing about the war stories. We tired of hearing about who been incarcerated. We tired of hearing about you being a shooter, because a lot of them like to talk about being a shooter, who snitching. Like, we in an era now in 2024 that we want to talk about economics. You know, we in a whole recession right now. Nobody talking about this recession that we in. How technology is taking a lot of jobs, but we need to put these babies into technology and get them to understand the coding and all that.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you why. Because niggas is brainwashed to only notice the other shit. Like,
Yep.
like we'll idolize mafia. will idolize
Yep.
mafia culture. But
Facts.
when we idolize the mafia and idolize the mafia culture, we never pay attention to the main shit. We always look at the goofy shit. So we looking at the
Yep.
mafia culture, be like, oh shit, they selling drugs, they killing niggas, they getting money. That's not the important thing to see in the mob culture. What you should be looking at is these is people that didn't have no money. The first thing they do when they get money is invest it into the babies to make sure that the babies don't follow the footsteps. This nigga here, oh, he's going to be a doctor. We're sending him to doctor. We're going to put this one over here. It's going to be a lawyer. This one here, we're going to have this one in city council. This one here is going. We're going to put all of our people in store. This is why the Gottis, after they, John Gotti and all them, the Sammy, that whole generation, them niggas ain't nowhere scrambling and doing nothing because all them babies for multiple generations them already integrated into society. They already have legitimate jobs, degrees, or entrepreneurs or businesses or whatever it is. So they don't have to, not only do they not have to live that same lifestyle and take those same risks, but they don't even have to live off of those stories. They don't have to pretend now that they don't have the viable option of going to the streets, because the streets of the 80s is no longer, that's not a real thing anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's not a real thing anymore. So now you got basically bartering going on. Niggas is making just enough money selling one drug to get high off the drug that they enjoy. So niggas selling just enough crack to get chicken, to get Chinese food and a bag of weed. Like niggas, like it's not. So now that that's gone and that's not a viable option, now you got to go back to what your trades are, what your skills are, what did you develop over that time when you had access to that bread? Where did you put the bread so that later on you could have some fruit from your labor? Nowhere. Niggas going to jail, coming out, getting a job. Or niggas going to jail, coming home, doing podcasts, pretending they were still in jail because there's no next thing. And what I'm saying is the next thing could just be their transformation. The next thing could just be, yo, I did 20 years. Like Wallow. Wallow is a great fucking example of the other, you know what I'm saying? Like sitting the clean glass next to the dirty glass. It's not like there's no example of that same exact story, just on a positive note. Like Wallow did 20, he did as much as years as anybody else did, came out of jail and only spoke motivation, inspiration, positivity, outside of the shit he say about Gilly, but and boom, them niggas signing like obscene types of contracts, talking the shit they talking. You know what I'm saying? And so,
but enqi, like that's like what you saying, like with Wallow. That's just like when I watch, shows like Earn Your Leisure and stuff like that, because I think our people, we tired of the gangster shit. You know what I'm saying? It ran its course. A lot of us want some food for the knowledge. Even the young brothers in the streets want food for knowledge, because it's like you got so much of these dudes, like you just said, enqi. They coming home from jail. They getting on the tube. The rap shit ain't working no more. It used to be you come home from jail, you get in the rap game. You come home from jail now, you get on social media and become a motherfucking internet sensation, and you get a fucking podcast. We don't want to hear the same old stories. A lot of us done either been through that, got family members that been through that, or we just tired of hearing that and we just want to elevate, like you said, enqi, to the next level. I always say, my favorite slogan, I always say, niggas want to be like mafia dudes, but don't play by mafia rules. Because when we look at a lot of the mob cats, like you said, enqi, they out there investing in their community. They out there making sure that they family members is becoming doctors, lawyers, professors, They becoming businessmen. They becoming police officers, FDNY. So they getting into the system. When our people is be a rapper, be an athlete, or be one of these podcast niggas. That's the problem right there. Like, we not showing them, like, hold on, we could do more than just that. We could be entrepreneurs. We could own our own business. We could own real estate. We could own one of these, have a social media website, get an app, create an app or something. Like it's a lot of things out here that we could do as a people to become successful and have financial freedom. Everybody else, they just want to come on here with the negativity, with the same bullshit, with the same old two-step. And it's like, it's getting tiring. Dudes is too old to be up here promoting that bullshit.
Listen,
you know what
and
I'm
the
saying?
crazy shit is, look, they know that they promoting the bullshit. They know they promoting the bullshit because you know goddamn well, China Brim, you know goddamn well Zip, Hassan, especially Hassan, because Hassan got the largest numbers. You know goddamn well that 90% of the people that's commenting, that's jumping in the chat, typing away about whose paperwork says this and who's snitching, but none of these fucking people is in the street life. None of these people was in the street life. None of these people is currently selling no drugs, getting no packages. Like, who the fuck gives a fuck? Like, who's getting ready to, out of all the people that's having these conversations about Bimmy being a rat and all this and this, how many of these motherfuckers is actually getting ready to get a package of cocaine from Bimmy? Like, what? Like, I don't even understand what that conversation is. Why is that relevant? None of you niggas are getting ready to get a package. Bimmy's not getting ready to flip no pack. That nigga just dropped, like, LL just dropped Bimmy's in the video with the new single with LL. Like, he's elevated in a whole nother echelon of life, another level of living. The snitch resume is not even relevant. It's only relevant in the space of, I'm getting ready to do something illegal. Like, for instance, if me and you getting ready to do something illegal, I need to find out who this nigga Bulletz Gotti really is in the street before I go out and I get me a package with Bulletz, or we run down and we pull a jukes or something. Like, I need to know who is Bulletz Gotti, who I'm getting ready to get involved in. If I'm not getting ready to get involved in no illegal shit with Bulletz, who gives a fuck what he did with illegal? Like, who cares? That shit is not relevant. It's ridiculous to, like, it, because it just means that we don't really care. Like, and really the snitch philosophy, where I'm gonna put myself above the rest, the whole. That's the problem that we got to deal with. If we're dealing with the snitching thing and everybody's obsessed with who's snitching, who's not, we got to look at who's selfish enough to put their self above the progress of everybody else, because that's literally the mindset of a snitch. We all did this thing together, and I'm getting ready to sell everybody else out because I gotta do me, or I gotta separate from the pack. So we gotta deal with that shit in our community. Niggas sell niggas out on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? Niggas do anything to get ahead. Like, that mindset exists outside the street. If we highlight shit, it's all kind of shit to highlight. You know what I'm saying? Like, because nobody's perfect. So, we got to wrestle with the things that's serious. You know what I'm saying? This pipeline to prison shit. You got people talking about Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and da-da-da. I'm looking at all these people that's anti-prison, anti-pipeline to prison, talking about they voting for Kamala Harris. I just don't understand how ignorant these niggas is. Kamala Harris is partnered with Joe Biden. Joe Biden wrote the 93 crime bill that locked everybody up. So when niggas talk about black folks getting more time in prison than white folks, or whatever the case may be, you niggas elected the nigga who wrote that paper. And
Mm-hmm.
Kamala's his partner. So if she get in office, she ain't gonna do nothing more than what she been doing
Mm-hmm.
because she's in office right now. She's not no person that's running. That's like maybe if they get in office, they gonna do. She's in office now, and she ain't did
Right.
shit.
Right.
Black folks are still got the lowest reading grade scores,
Mm-hmm.
right? Lowest reading grade scores, lowest math scores in school. Lowest reading scores, lowest math scores means guess what? The pipeline to prison is fully in bloom. America is making heaps of money off of private prisons. That's one of the things that was a problem with Michael Jordan back in the days
Mm-hmm.
because it got exposed that he was heavily invested into the private prisons. And,
Mm-hmm.
so that's the shit we got to deal with. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
but you know something, it's how I feel, right? When it come to this whole president thing, and I'm gonna be completely honest, right? Like, I wasn't going for Biden, and I wasn't going for Trump. You know, the only one that I saw that was like, there was only two people I saw like I would give my vote to was Cornel West and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And I'm gonna be honest, I like their policies more than Trump and Campbell because I feel like the Republican Party and the Democrat Party is the same game. The only big difference is they got two different colors, but when the cameras is off, they playing golf with each other because Trump don't. Yeah, I tell people all the time. I said this the other day. I said don't think because Trump dissing Biden that him and Biden ain't cool. He talked about them playing golf. You know what I'm saying? Him and Bill Clinton cool. So everybody be getting caught up in that matrix where we need to be focusing on, and I say importantly, is the local elections. Forget the president because the president need to balance the budget. I'm more focusing on the local elections because that's where the balance of power is at in that
Listen,
local shit.
listen, we can't get people to focus on local politics because we can't even get people to focus on teaching their babies. If
Facts.
you don't care about teaching your babies, you damn sure don't care about teaching the community. Like, if
Facts.
you don't care, you know what I'm saying? It's not that we all perfect parents, because I'm far from a perfect parent, but it's about making an effort. You know what I'm saying? It's just about making an effort. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to put this shit into perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Niggas is following an illusion that don't exist. The
Mm-hmm.
rappers, the rappers that's talking heavy, the rappers that's talking heavy, them niggas hire security. They
Facts.
hire police. They work with police. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the end of that. They not only do they work with police, but where do you think they buying their house at? None of them niggas got houses in the projects. Like,
Yeah.
they don't live in the so they don't live in the hood. They're out of the hood. Like, it's the blind leading the blind. You know what I'm saying? And at
Facts.
the end of the day, we don't own that culture. We think we do.
Yeah.
This is synonymous with slaves thinking they own cotton. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? We
Yeah.
we think we own the plantation because we the ones picking the cotton. No, nigga. I just watched a debate where somebody was yelling to the top of their lungs with Umar. And
Mm-hmm.
Umar's goofy as hell, but they was yelling to the top of their lungs with Umar talking about, we own the rap culture.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest pile that we don't own any part of the rap culture. We don't own any
Yeah.
of it, not
No.
one part of it. We don't
Right.
own the music. We don't own the lyrics.
Yeah.
More importantly, we don't own the machine that creates wealth through the talent, because you
Mm-hmm.
have to have a machine. And when
Mm-hmm.
I say machine, I mean systems in place. So, okay, we're going to put this out immediately. This is going to be distributed to this many radio stations. This should be playing in Target when niggas is shopping during Christmas. Like, that's how you make music do what it's supposed to do. When
Hey
you
yo,
are,
but Enqi, I'm gonna say this right, Enqi, because I'm glad you saying that because that whole I've been watching the whole thing with Tyreek and the whole hip hop conversation. How you feel
Tyreek.
about that with Tariq
Tyreek
Nasheed and his
Nasheed.
documentary? Yeah, his whole documentary with the hip hop
I'm gonna
conversation.
say I think Tariq Nasheed, I think he says things and he gets behind things that are politically correct because he's trying so I don't think that Tariq Nasheed ever got rid of his pimp mentality.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
who Tariq Nasheed is. Tariq Nasheed is a pimp. That's what he started out as, a pimp. And
Facts.
then he came to the conscious community and did the documentary on the Moors
Yeah,
and that,
hidden colors.
hidden right. And then all of a sudden people start like linking Tariq Nasheed with consciousness and he just ran with it. But he never was a part of the community. He was never a part of the conscious community. He never was at no events. He never supported. Like he just did hidden colors. You know what I'm saying? So I look at him in a way the same way as some of the rappers. Like I don't have vitriol for a particular segment of the community. It's just a philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks a lot of pro-black shit, but you
Mm-hmm.
don't see that nowhere in his life. You
Yeah.
don't see that nowhere in his life. Do you look at his neighborhood? His neighborhood is whiter than my neighborhood. Like,
Fact.
like he's in an exclusive neighborhood. His kids go to privates. Like, why are you talking that pro-black shit and you ain't around no black folks? And you're
Mm-hmm.
not attempting to be around any black folks. You know, there are people that hustle race. There are people that hustle poverty. There are people that hustle people's unrest, and they take these negative emotions and they use them as buttons to press to get
Mm-hmm.
people to respond and to get people to move in a certain type of direction. So with
Mm-hmm.
Tariq Nasheed, I'm always 50-50 because he
Mm-hmm.
be yelling out a bunch of shit that don't really play out in the long, like you don't really see the, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't really see the action from. So, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I'm not necessarily for or against Tariq Nasheed, but I would
Mm-hmm.
say that there's more better and credible voices that have been critical
Mm-hmm.
of what we got going on in the music business. And largely what we got going on in the music business, like this YSL case is mad important for a lot of different reasons. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Yeah, because the YSL case, they basically trying to prosecute Thug because he got gang
Mm-hmm.
members on payroll or because he got convicts on payroll.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do that, you got to open up the door to all kind of shit with niggas just trying to get their life together, security work, warehouse work. It's a lot of different construction. It's a lot of different jobs where you got active gang members as well as ex-cons and all that on the
Mm-hmm.
payroll because this is their first step to trying to rehabilitate themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
so for that reason and a plethora of other reasons, like you know what I'm saying, the case is important. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, and I got a chance to speak to Young Thug father. He came to Clubhouse and I spoke to him. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, he explained that they offered Thug a $1 million check to wear that dress.
Oh.
And yeah. He explained, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody was in there talking to him about all kind of foolishness. I was like, no. I'm about to ask this nigga about that dress. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
and he said, you know, he said, hey, you got that $1 million check. You know what I'm saying? So that was a confirmation for me of something that maybe people had been curious about. Because now we
Mm-hmm.
see Buster wearing the red dress or
Mm-hmm.
a outfit that kind of looks like a dress. I couldn't really tell if that was actually a dress or not. You know what I'm saying? But you know, now
Mm-hmm.
they got the big pants where it kind of look like a dress, but you could say it's not type shit. I don't know how it is. But
But you know, Enqi, Buster used to dress like that. People keep forgetting back in the 90s. Before he started dressing like how he dressed
hey,
now, but he was dressing like
listen,
that in the 90s.
Listen, now we know though. That's what I'm saying from talking to Young Thug father. Now we know that
Yeah,
it's actually checks
yeah,
associated with putting this shit. Like we
yeah,
conspiracy theoried it up. Like, oh yeah, niggas is
yeah,
doing this for a check.
yeah.
Speaking to Thug father, I got to really like, oh wow,
Mm,
yeah, this is this is really like, here's a check, here's a dress, you know, put this on, grab this, put this on, cash this check type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mm-hmm,
so there's an effort to lead our children in a direction that people would not lead their own children in,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm,
Because you don't see any other segment of people where certain masculine, you know, or people that have a masculine, like, we're still dealing with this feminization of the black man, and we don't realize, you know, if people make life choices and LGBTQ and all that, listen, more power to you. I'm not knocking that. But
mm-hmm,
the straight father in the black home has to be, that has to be an agenda. There's a house
mm-hmm,
three blocks down from mine's. It was
mm-hmm,
a black man with a white woman. They have 4 kids.
mm-hmm,
Black man, white woman, they have 4 kids. The father turned, you know, changed his sexuality or discovered that he wanted to do something else or whatever later on in life after being married and having 4 children. The 4 children, like the oldest one's damn near grown, right?
mm-hmm,
When he makes that decision to go the other direction,
mm-hmm,
3 out of his 4 sons also made the decision to be alternative lifestyle.
mm-hmm,
The one boy that's not is basically throwing his life away, drugs, jail, you know, like he building up a arrest, you know, like, so, you know, people trying to reach out, etc., but you cannot replace that father in the house.
mm-hmm.
You cannot replace that father in the house. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's real shit like that that we got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? We don't talk about the real shit. We had a lot of shows that pimp the conversation of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Millions of views on relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Almost no views on the impact of those relationships to the babies. Almost no views on the impact of those relationships to parenthood. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like, none of that shit is translating. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is why, you know, my movement, when people come to my platform,
Mm-hmm.
we're going to get you to start buying books. You can't be a part of my movement if you're not buying these books. You can't be a part of my movement if you're not doing these exercises. You
Mm-hmm.
can't be a part of my movement if you're not actually going through these books, teaching them to your babies,
Mm-hmm.
having the babies teach their shit to you, working out with your kids, eating a certain type of way. Like, our movement is based on knowledge first.
Mm-hmm.
Start with the knowledge and then it translates to culture, right? So you start with the knowledge, then it translates to culture. And that's
Fact.
what we got to do. We need $1 million icons,
Mm-hmm.
$1 million icons in our community that's based on that example. I made $1 million writing books about genetics or self-development
Mm-hmm.
or generational health. That's the term we coined. Instead of generational wealth, focusing on the generational health, because the people that don't have the generational health, even if they come into some money, they lose the money because they didn't have the stability. Just
Mm-hmm.
like you see a lot of athletes go broke, a lot of people hit the lotto go broke, a lot of people that got money off the block, they wind up going broke because they didn't have the generational health to sustain,
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so all that shit start at the house. All that shit start with the basics. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you hollering this all black, super black shit, and you live in an all white neighborhood with a white wife and all that. You just as fake as the nigga that's talking all that gangster shit, hiring police to walking back and forth to a concert, and you live in the suburbs, my nigga. Like, what are we doing right now? You know
Hey
what I'm
yo,
saying?
enqi, let me ask you this, because like when I look at the conscious community, because like when I was looking at it, back in the days, it was big, and then when I started like seeing like a lot of conscious brothers start becoming social influencers, and they start flipping the conscious joint and started like trying to be celebrities like the rappers. They
Listen,
start
hold on,
wanting to
hold
be
on,
like,
hold on. Let me stop you. Hold on. Let me stop you, Bullets.
yeah,
Listen, this Dr. Enqi.
yeah.
Ask what you want to ask. Take the gloves off. Go
Take the
do.
gloves
Go.
off.
Go.
All right,
You got me up here.
all
So
right,
whatever you
Iggy.
want
So
to ask,
let me. All
yeah,
right.
whatever you
So,
want to
cause
ask.
I'm gonna be honest, cause I was a fan of how you was doing it, A Rashid, Polite, and the Pill Brothers, and just many other brothers. But as I saw like later on, like it started becoming like an influencer. And you always stayed true, Enki. You always stayed true teaching the people. But when I started seeing the Polites, I started seeing the Pill Brothers, shout out to my man, damn man, Supernova Slum, all of them brothers. Like I respect what those brothers did, but then to me, I'm being honest personally, Enki, I started seeing like brothers just wanted to become like influencers. They just would want about the bag and not about the information.
Well, here's the thing. Um, a little bit of notoriety and a
Mm-hmm,
few dollars goes a long way
mm-hmm.
to showing who you actually are,
Fact.
right? So early on, when people are struggling, right? They're
Mm-hmm,
struggling. So when people struggling, they're much more friendly,
mm-hmm,
because at that point they don't want to offend anybody because they don't know who they're going to need.
mm-hmm,
So people wear a mask of civility. They pretend that they're a certain type of way because they need to appeal to everybody, and they don't know who or what direction is going to be the direction that they want to succeed in, because they don't really have a moral compass.
mm-hmm,
Like, so their thing is not, I'm doing this thing and I'm going to do this thing until I win doing this thing.
mm-hmm.
Their thing is, well, I'm gonna just throw a bunch of shit at the wall, see whatever stick, and then I'm gonna go in that direction.
Yeah.
So A Rashid, for the most part, he never switched it up.
Oh, that's my
But
man. I fuck with A Rashid. I,
yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah,
A.
yeah. A Rashid, for the most part, he kept it the
He
same.
kept it tall. Yeah.
But Polite, you know, Polite fooled us, and the warning signs was already always there. I was probably the earliest person to call out a lot of the
Yeah.
bullshit, but
Yeah.
that's because I was the closest to the situation. So, you
Yeah.
know, but with certain personalities, like for instance, with
Yeah.
the pills never actually had a thing. The pills never actually had a thing. So they were always just looking to be the influencers. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like that was their thing from the jump. So,
Mm.
if that's authentic or if that's not authentic, that's who
Yeah.
they always been.
I'm
Like
gonna
they
keep it
never
real with
been.
you. I'm gonna keep it real with you, Inky. I'm gonna keep it all the way real. In my opinion, I always looked at you, A Rashid, Supernova Slum as the teachers. I always looked at y'all three as the teachers. When it came to like when y'all was on Sinetta, y'all was really the ones that was the builders. I felt like
Shout out to Supernova Slum too.
shout out to Supernova. When I looked at like Polite, I looked at the pills. It was always even Shaka Amos. When I look at them brothers, it was always a money thing. It was a character. It was like this character thing. It was like, yo, we gonna get some of these chicks, and we gonna try to get our wives. We're gonna be on this polygamous pimping thing, but we gonna do the conscious pimping with the women, and we gonna finesse it. That's the way I looked at it. And it was
Well, that
always like to
was
be
pretty
bigger than
accurate.
ever. And they took, and I'm gonna keep it real. Enqi. They took a lot of your information. They took a lot of A.A. Rashid information. They took a lot of Supernova information because you and A.A. was building on that Morris shit. I remember Polite was talking about the Morris teachings. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a Moor. So when I heard A.A. and you kicking about that Morris science, and then when I saw Polite and the pills trying to break down the Morris science, I'm like, hold on. That's a lot of they was plagiarizing what you and A.A. was talking about, and then trying to gumbo with it, just like Hassan. That's the same thing with Hassan. They gumbo, they take the information and they gumbo it from the teachers. And that's what I said. They was y'all students, really.
That's a fact. And you know, people don't realize that people from the outside that's watching formulate their own opinions, and they know. So what happens is this: people play platform. And what I mean by playing platform is, if I say something on my channel, right? If I do the hard work, the research, and I come up with some shit, and I make a new, a new discovery, or I find out some new twist to a diet or whatever. I find out some new information, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go live on my page.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I got 3,000 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
So in my live, it might be 50 people in the live, 20 people in the live, 60 people in the live, whatever. So they'll listen to what I say and then go on a larger page where they got 100,000 subs or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Or it might be 500 in the live or 1,000 in the live,
Mm-hmm.
and say my shit on that platform. And then the people that's hearing that for the first time, they go, oh shit, this nigga Polite is like, I was Polite's ghostwriter for a long time.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like niggas will hear your shit coming from somebody else's lips and go, oh man, this nigga's deep. Or yo, KT the arts degree is deep. Or brother Yachty Awakening. This enqi, you sound like Yachty Awakening. I'm like, how the fuck can I sound like Yachty Awakening? How the fuck's that even possible? Nigga, did you know Yachty Awakening 3 years ago? No, because he was ODing on cocaine.
Yeah.
The nigga was ODing on cocaine and decided to wake up, and herbs healed him from cocaine. So he said, oh, I'm an herbalist now. Like, nigga, what the fuck?
Hey, yo, but
where the fuck do we do this?
Yo, enqi, that's the crazy part is, right? When I was listening to Polite, because, I grew up on Dr. York. I grew up on a lot of them teachings. So when Polite had came on the scene, he was mixing Nuwapian teachings, and he was mixing Morris teachings, Israelite teachings, and then he was mixing a lot of Dr. Sebi, Dr. Ben teachings, and putting it as his, as a gumbo. And the thing is, like, I knew that you, A. Rashid, Supernova, because he was running with y'all. He was really running with y'all. The pills also, they was all running with y'all. And when I was watching, I always could tell who the teachers out of the camp. And it wasn't Polite. Polite wasn't the teacher. Because it was certain, he had great debates. Don't get me wrong. He had damn good
Polite
debates.
Incredible salesman.
He a great debater.
Incredible salesman.
He's an incredible salesman. Great debater. Because what did I say about Polite, enqi, is that when he had the debates with Captain Zariak, even Lex, and he'll get on and expose a lot of shit. I'll give him that. He could talk. His talk game is impeccable.
Gotti,
but like
hold up, Gotti. Time out for a second.
Yeah.
You realize, people that's gonna watch this, they're gonna be like, yo, I didn't know all this shit about Bulletz. Gotti. Forget about me. Niggas gonna be like, hold up, Gotti, you see all these debates? You've been studying all these.
Listen, I watched all the debates. I watched the Moors. I watched the Armorah Squad. I watched all the debates. You know what I'm saying? I seen like I'm gonna keep it real. I wanted to have a debate with Farrell. Like before I got on the seat, I was trying to holler, but Sinetta at the time I was a little small platform. So when I started growing, I was, and then what happened with Farrell, happened. But I really wanted to get in the debate there because one thing when I heard a lot of
Wait,
brothers
what
talk
happened
about,
with Pharaoh?
oh, he got laced. He got laced, man. He went into that Hollywood life, man.
You
When
think?
he cut
Hold up.
Seti
So
off, and I'm gonna
you
keep it
think
real.
you
And
think he got laced?
yeah, he got laced. He got laced, man. They did him dirty. But what
I don't
happened to
believe
him,
so.
Enqi? This what happened with Farrell, man. His head got too big. When he was running with Seti, and Seti and him was together and they was a unit, Farrell was sharp. Once he allowed, and this is what happened with a lot of brothers when they get paper. When the paper start getting in, a new circle of people start coming around you.
Well, look,
You know what I
look.
mean?
When the papers start coming in,
Yeah.
that's when their real personalities start coming out.
Yeah,
See,
facts. Facts.
before you got any money, you gotta be like, because you don't know who you're gonna need. So you eating
Facts.
everybody's dick, you
Facts.
glazing everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Because you don't know which doorway gonna be the doorway to open
Facts.
up for you. So you
Facts.
humble. It's a lot of peace queens and
Mm,
peace king and all this other goofball. Like
mm,
soon as the few dollars come in, then you see who. Like for instance,
mm.
people always put me and Polite together, but they don't really use their eyes to analyze what they see.
Yeah.
When I moved out of New York, I moved from one hood to another hood to another hood to another hood because I went where the people needed me. I
Yep.
didn't run to try to get like Polite did a video talking about like how black folks is animals and monsters, and I'm trying to get away from these niggas, and like he went crazy. I was like,
Oh
yo,
yeah.
this is y'all can't say I went from Atlanta, College Park to Philly, you know what I'm saying, Detroit. Like I anywhere I go, I'm where the shit is at. You know what I'm saying? Like so, and with my babies, and we teaching. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
so. People see me teaching now with my babies, but they forget. This is just my newest crop of little ones.
Yeah.
15 years ago, I was on the road on tour, going city to city with Tony when she was 12 or 13 years old. And I was teaching the adults and I had her teaching the children. So we used to go to schools. I'll talk to the parents. I'll have her talk to the children. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been doing this for, this is a pattern now. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's not the same.
Yeah.
When you look at it from
Hey,
the
yo,
outside.
Iggy. Let me sorry to cut your wisdom, but let me
No, go
ask
ahead, go ahead.
you. Let me ask you, cause when I watched Polite, like his rise, like, cause I remember how he first came, and then I remember how he rose. And when he went to Hollywood, you started seeing a whole new Polite. It went from the black woman is God to he sleeping with the snow bunnies. He got the Asian joint. He got all this going on.
Wait. You forgetting a step. It
Uh-huh.
went from the black woman is God
Yeah,
to money is God. Remember, he
money
did the
is God.
video praying to the money. Then he went, and I don't really have a problem with somebody having a white girlfriend or
Yeah,
Asian
yeah,
girl.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But the next stop was he got caught out there with,
Yeah,
he got caught out there with the,
yeah. Yep, yep,
and then
yep.
and
I
so
know.
so once that happened, where he got caught with the, I don't even
Yeah,
know what the correct terminology is to say. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah,
don't want to get the
yeah,
shit flagged, but once he got
yeah,
caught out in that scenario,
yeah,
and he tried to throw his man under the bus that was with him, like, oh nah, I was with her friend, this one right here, but we didn't even see him in the picture. We saw her dancing with you, nigga.
yeah,
So, so
yeah. It was a whole hey. It was so much with it Polite, and it's like I saw what he was doing. I saw what he was doing though, cause he put King Los under the wing because King Los done went to
No,
Clubhouse and
no,
started talking like
listen,
him.
listen. No, listen, let me tell you, before King Los was with Polite, King Los was my son. Like, I literally spent time at King Los house teaching his wife and his mother how to cook.
Oh,
Literally, I was in his house teaching his wife and his moms about the food and don't do this, do that, that with his son running around and all that.
yeah.
And I started to go in a different direction because one night, King Los, Polite, and Wiz Khalifa's in the club.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at, certain types of women, and these niggas looking at different types of women. I'm gonna just say that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
so I couldn't. I was like, yo, I'm gonna take it back to the crib. I'm gonna let y'all niggas do y'all thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I realized I was in the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, these niggas was looking for young, younger looking girls. It's no underage girls in the club, so I'm not trying to throw nothing on King Lo's name or Wiz Khalifa or whatever the case may be. But
yeah. I already know.
But what I like wasn't going on that night in the club. There's some other shit going on. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna start to exit stage left out of this relationship here, because I see that me and Polite definitely have less and less and less in common over the time. And I see King Los is really, he liked this shit that Polite is on right now. So, but King Los is Diddy's, you know what I'm saying? So
I
King
saw
Los,
Diddy. Hey, yo, enqi, I saw Diddy. Diddy had Polite around. I was like, oh shit. Puff got the Polite around. I'm like, oh shit.
yeah, because but that's what I'm saying. And King Los is the middleman. King Los is the middleman between Diddy and Polite. That's a hell of a middleman situation right there.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, again, what we focus on and what we pay into, like for instance, the saying, you are what you eat.
That's a fact.
But right now, I'm trying to promote a new version of that. You are what you buy. Right? You are what you buy, because we want to support like a positive movement. Like, niggas be like, yeah, enqi, that teaching the baby shit sound right. Okay, cool. How many books of mine did you go to Amazon and purchase? How many bags of weed did you buy this week? I'm not saying stop buying the weed. I'm only saying if you're buying more weed than books, we might have to reevaluate that. If you got a shoe game, but you don't have a book game in your house, that's where the problem come in at. Am I saying stop getting the shoes? No, but I'm saying you need a library, my nigga, like, and not a fake library, because anybody with a few dollars, like, that's what niggas is doing. They get a bookshelf, they fill it up with books. Like, nigga, how many of these books you read? You know what I'm saying? Like, it got to be thorough. And I'm just a person, I guess, that is from both sides of the culture. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the streets, but I'm known in the conscious community. So I don't mind applying the street rules in a sense to the consciousness, meaning the same way you niggas is in the street, they get G checked. Oh, you a gangster? Well, let's check your resume. Well, niggas is claiming to be conscious, then they could get C checked. We can check your consciousness resume, nigga. You claiming to be conscious? What are you out here doing?
Hey, yo, but enqi, you know something, no, enqi? There's a lot of dudes out here that's on the low, that street dudes that love that conscious shit,
Of course.
And what a lot of people don't understand is, like, when Zip did that video, that live, he took the names off the title, but you already went at the 5% Nation. You already went at, the brothers that was Dr. Sebi followers, all the conscious brothers, which basically that just showed that you just a lost ignorant nigga, because there's a lot of real dudes that love Dr. Sebi information, that love, Clarence 13X information. You know what I'm saying? So when you start talking about these brothers that really changed a lot of brothers' lives, man, hip hop, I'm gonna keep it real. It ain't no hip hop without the conscious community, because every East Coast rapper read all conscious books and dropped conscious gems in their music. So without the conscious community, man, you don't get the culture.
Listen, I'll do you one better than that.
Mm-hmm.
The whole idea of being celebrated coming home from prison. The idea of being celebrated coming home from prison is rooted in consciousness. These niggas, where the knowledge is no longer going from the older generation to the next generation, is where the problem is coming in, because we coming from a situation in America where we had to fight for our right to do everything, fight for our right to have everything, fight for our right to keep everything. So in that space where Cats was revolution or rebel minded, I'll say that for lack of a better term, rebel minded, people went to prison for fighting against the system. Even your early cats that was hustling in the neighborhood, they was hustling in the neighborhood, doing whatever they was doing, running numbers, selling a little powder, or doing whatever they was doing. But they took that money, and that money went to bettering the neighborhood, empowering the neighborhood, making sure that, certain things in the neighborhood that wasn't getting fixed by the powers that be, the politicians was overlooking it, the city officials was overlooking it. So they had to take it upon themselves to get money to do those things. So when that person went to prison, people celebrated that person for coming out of jail, because the person was a hero to the neighborhood. It's not they celebrating somebody from coming home from jail just because they was in jail. Like, jail gave you some intrinsic character or quality that should be celebrated. No, these are people was only celebrated because they went against the system and they fought for the people. And so when they got caught, they was almost considered to be prisoners, like political prisoners, but just on a small, but on a small local level, not like on a Mumia level, but just on your small local level. And so they were celebrated. Now niggas is confused because they no longer have that history. They think that every nigga coming out of jail, like, that's a badge to wear. Oh, I did 20 years. Look, I'm still right here, and blah, 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 blah. Like, nah, nigga, put that down. Stop telling people you are, like, that was a debate between me and Polite. When I got with Polite, the first thing I told him, I was like, bro, stop telling people you are ex-Crip, Crip this, Crip that, Crip. I was like, bro, are you trying to be conscious, or you trying to be a gang member, my nigga? Like, you whatever you say, you speaking into existence. So if that's what you was, that's cool. We all got a beginning, but tuck that away, put that in the past. Niggas that know you from that life, they'll know you and still recognize you, but you don't have to present that to the people. So we argued about that early on. Those were some of the early things that just between me and him that gave me like a little hesitancy, like early on, like, yo, this, I don't know where his mind, like, but that's how we got to start approaching this. And we got to look at the Polite situation as a blueprint to learning, where we go, you know what? At least Polite showed us that as a community, if we come together, we can overcome certain things that we thought we couldn't do. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can actually use consciousness as a vehicle to getting you, a better life, changing your life. You could use consciousness as a vehicle to changing your life. The same way you could use basketball or anything else as a vehicle to change your life. So I tell people, Polite made an impact, but we need to erase Polite from our memory. You know what I'm saying? Like, just use him as a precautionary tale. That's the only value he serves now, as a precautionary tale for niggas to learn what not to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But because that pathway, right? That pathway that Dr. York, that trail he blazed, we see where it got him, and then the people following behind that, Pharaoh, Polite, Nature Boy, they all
Hey yo,
kind of.
enqi. Hey yo, Baby Bob says salute, my nigga.
Baby Bob, that's a super official. I don't even know what he's doing watching this. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, though. That's official.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like the people from my neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? Like anybody that ever watched me, like they know that it's always, I tell everybody, I'm from 158th Street in the Bronx. I'm from 158th Street in the Bronx. I'm from 158th Street in the Bronx. I say that shit till it's blazed in people's minds because I don't want anybody to get the wrong impression. Like I try to switch up my shit and do something different. But I want people to see that you could just keep it regular. You could just keep it regular and still get wherever you're trying to go. Like you don't got to get around conscious people. And because you from the street or you got a street background, now all of a sudden you got to wear dashikis and look like a weirdo and all kinds of other shit. Like, nah, that ain't what real consciousness is.
Hey yo, enqi, that's what I'm saying. Like when I
Like
watch,
Zip accused me. He like, yo, y'all niggas eating soybeans and lettuce and all that. I'm like, yo, you confused, nigga. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what make you think nigga. If I got 10 babies, clearly I don't eat no soy, nigga, because my shit working. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like niggas is confused.
hey yo, but this how I know. Like when I watch a lot of these cats, and it's like even like you said with Polite, even Hassan, man. A lot of these dudes, they want to talk the conscious shit to get to the bag and get the support base. So when they do get to it, because I remember Polite humble beginnings on hand. You know, he wasn't wearing the designers and the jewelry. He was just a regular dude. He got that from you. I know he got that from you, Ink. I know.
When I came around him, I was driving him. I had a Range Rover back then. I was driving him to all the events and shit because he was, carrying the boxes of books. I'm like, yo, get in the fucking car, nigga. But I was working at Verizon. You know what I'm saying? I still had, moving around a little bit, but I was working at Verizon. You know what I'm saying? So I was stable. You know what I'm saying? When I came into the conscious shit, but it's our generation. The niggas that was born in the 70s, we the ones that decided to do something different because all of the people we looked up to, like at the time when we was little, we looked up to the gods. The gods, they got to wear a lot of this shit because they was our superheroes. We looked up to the gods. But by the time we got like 8, 9, 10, 11, and we start figuring out that we needed a few dollars, a lot of the people we looked up to turned into these niggas are smoking woolies and like we was beating some of these niggas up, so they lost the luster and they lost the, we looked up to them and they fell off due to the drugs. So when we saw that, we turned against the consciousness. You know what I'm saying? We turned against the consciousness, but it's like, and so a lot of people made their mistakes and did whatever they did and went the direction they went in. Niggas got 5 years, 10 years. Some niggas did 20 years. And now they coming out and niggas is back on that type of time. Like, yo, hold up. we got to get back to teaching these babies.
Yeah.
I tried the other road. Nah.
Yeah.
We got to go back to this blueprint right here. We got to
Yeah.
get back to teaching these babies, because I'd be damned if all of the risk I took in my life, my son or my daughter is getting ready to start from ground zero and do all the same shit that I just did. Like that'd mean my life wasn't worth nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, but I you know, that's a highlight for me. Like that type of shit right there is a highlight for me. The fact that, you know, people don't know who Bob is, but the fact that niggas like Bob is like, you know, these are people from my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like that official, you know what I'm saying, type of niggas that, you know, you can't fake those type of you can't fake those type of things. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's another piece to the people trying to be somebody that they're not.
Yeah.
You know,
But you see, you be chilling though. You don't come on here like a lot of these niggas. They gotta brag. Well, I was a shooter. I was a nigga in the streets. Ain't just cool. He cool with it. He dropped the gems.
No, I'm gonna tell you. Hold on. Let me tell you why I don't do none of that. First of all those is lies, because you can't tell people that you was a shooter. There's no statute of limitations on people being shot. Man. You can't go on the fucking internet and be like, yeah, I was a shooter. Like, what do you mean you was a shooter, nigga? If you was a shooter, that means not only do you have open situations potentially, but that means that you know people. That means you moved around in circles with people that may have situations, nigga. You can't, like, no, nigga, that's not all. That's play. That's all pretend. That's all internet. Yeah. That's all people. And so that brings us back to the top of the subject. That's people trying to, like, so back in the days, and while it was happening, we didn't know it was happening. But back in the days, like now they show you those pictures of people being at Willie Burgers on 145th, or even the second Willie's that opened up like right on 125th and St. Nick, when people was going to Grant's Tomb and shit like that, when that was popping. And they got, you know, like pics, and it's got a nostalgia vibe to it, because niggas like, oh shit, I was there. And you know, if you wasn't there, you cannot just be there. Like my generation, we was at Rucker, we was at Speed, we was at the Tunnel, we was at Grant's Tomb, we was there. The older niggas, like my cousin Cavario, his generation, and them niggas was at the Rooftop and all that. Like, if you wasn't there, you just wasn't there. You can't, like, in 2024, you like trying to fake, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go back, and you got to be who you is now. Niggas got jobs, they got 2-3 kids. Bro, you're a working man with kids. That's who you supposed to be. You're not supposed to be trying to moonlight on the internet as a nigga that will potentially get a package of crack right now and move around with it, because that's not the truth. Like, Zip said, wait. In the video, Zip said, if I could get me a good number on some crack, I'll be selling some right now. That right there was probably the fakest thing Zip ever said, because if you watch Zip, I watch Zip, I like Zip. Even with all this shit being said, I still like Zip, right? Zip is patched in. Zip makes sure that he tells, oh, I'm plugged in, I'm patched in, I'm tapped in. All of the fucking slang terms you could use to say you connected. So that means you could get a good price on some work, nigga. You just not selling no drugs because you not selling no drugs, nigga. You not trying to go back to jail. I don't see anything wrong with telling niggas after doing 20 years, I'm not selling no drugs, nigga, because I'm not trying to go back to fucking jail. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's my problem. Don't say you can't get a good price on it, nigga. That's a lie. Niggas that know better know better. He's way too plugged in and connected to not be able to get a good price on some coke. Nigga, stop it. You're not selling no drugs, not because you can't get a good price. You're not selling no drugs because you're not trying to go back to fucking jail. We've been saying since we was kids, since before we could understand what we were saying. We were saying time equals money. Time is money. Time is money. We've been saying that since before we even understood it. And even as grown men, a lot of us don't pay any attention to the other side of the equation. We'll do anything to get money, but we're forgetting the time factor. Because you could get more money, but you can't get no more time. You could get more money, but you can't get no more time. You know what I'm saying? So we got to focus while we have air in our lungs, while we got bodies that we could still move around in. You know what I'm saying? We got to try to enjoy the time that we have with our loved ones the right type of way. You know what I'm saying? A lot of time we sacrifice the now for later. Even when you get a job, they tell you you worth $10 an hour. So they put in a price on your time. You worth $25 an hour. If you in prison or slave labor, you worth 50 cents an hour. You worth $1.50 an hour. Like, we got to realize time is more valuable than money. Time is more valuable than money. And children is how you make yourself like Tragedy Gaddafi, one of the most powerful rap line, one of my top 10 lines of all time in music. Resurrect through the birth of my seeds and live again. That's the shit on the TONY with Nori and Capone. Like resurrect through the birth of my seeds and live again. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we're supposed to be doing. Focused on that. Resurrect through the birth of my seeds and live again. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, go ahead. I know you was trying to say something.
Let me ask you this, enqi, since we talk about that, right? Yo, and you know, homie be on here talking this Bronx shit. Have you ever heard Hassan name ring off in the Bronx? Ain't being at you from uptown, man. Like, you ever heard that nigga before this YouTube shit?
No. But let me say this with respect. That doesn't mean that he wasn't who he say he was. I never seen him. Like, when the Zulu Nation was popping, Zulu Nation used to have Wednesday night at Parkside Plaza lit. Like, that was where you would see all of the, you know what I'm saying? BO would be out there, T-Mac, chapter 13, chapter 14. Like, I never really seen, I never seen Haas, and I was always out there. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo, you know, the crazy thing is, you know, my mom, she's from Patterson. So when she saw her son in
Patterson Project.
Patterson Project, yeah.
My grandmother lived in Patterson Projects.
Yeah, my mom's from 281. That's where she from. She from building 281.
The last building before you get to 138th Street. That's where my adopted grandmother lived. So I used to be there all the time.
Yeah, so like, you know, everybody. Yeah,
you heard?
Like,
I went to Clark right there.
Yeah, Clark is right there. It's right there. Yeah. So like, Iggy, like, when I be talking to a lot of dudes, like from uptown, just especially the Bronx, and they see dude, they be like, yo, I ain't never seen dude out there in the 80s or 90s. Like, where homie came from? Like, they say, he starts saying, yo, he's Zulu. So dudes like, yo, I never seen him.
Well, that means something when you say you Zulu, especially in that time era. Like, you say you Zulu, that's you saying something. You know what I'm saying? Like, now is, you know, but back then that meant something. You know what I'm saying? But and the Bronx is a big place. You could be, remember, nowadays we live in internet culture. So nowadays, if you're doing something somewhere, niggas everywhere need to know. But back in those times before social media, only people that was doing similar things would know about each other. So if you was hustling in a certain place and niggas was hustling the same thing you was hustling in a different place, y'all might know each other, because at some point y'all might be in the same circle of people or whatever. But if you was a stick-up kid or whatever the case may be from a different
everybody know you. Yo,
everybody in your neighborhood would know you. But
it would have rung off though.
But secrecy was safety. Secrecy was safety. If everybody knew who was at, then you might not be here today. You know what I'm saying? Like, So I'm just saying, respectfully, benefit of the doubt wise, just because on our side of the town we didn't see him, that don't mean he wasn't going crazy in his neighborhood or wherever he was at. It just he wasn't at the places like because club time, you know, like that's when people would see people from other places. If you at Speed with the niggas, or you at the tunnel, or you, that's how we know who had a few dollars because we was kids in the tunnel. So you couldn't even get into a nightclub like that underage unless you had a few dollars or you knew or you was somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like you had to, you know, so you had to be somebody or have a few dollars to get up in the, like people forget the clubs didn't just invent ID and Carter niggas. Like that been around forever. But you know, if you with the right people or you are the right people or you got a few extra dollars, you know.
Like you said, if you wasn't at Grand's Tomb, the Tunnel, Speed, or the Skate Key, you wasn't there.
And wait, not Skate Key on 138th Street. I'm talking about Allerton Avenue. If you
Allerton Avenue, if you wasn't over there.
See, if you now that I forgot all about the Skate Key. That's a certified fact. If niggas ain't see you at the Skate Key, see, that's what I'm saying. So, but then again, listen, it's still a bunch of guys that was block guys that never left the block. So even I'm still leaving room for his narrative to still have some, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but it's like you know, like because you know, when you hear certain dudes, it's just like when you go on Instagram, you see dudes be showing them old pictures of dudes from different sections of the Bronx or Harlem or Brooklyn. It's like even though you from your block, it's somebody that's known in your hood.
No, that's a fact.
Gonna know you.
That's a fact, and that's what Bob's saying in the chat right now. That's a certified fact. That's a certified fact. You know what I'm saying? Like the names that super ringed bells. You know what I'm saying? That's what ringing bells mean. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know, you know, all over the place. But you know, like I said, he wasn't at none of the places where people that was somebody at the time would be at. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't at the Skate Key. He wasn't at Parkside. He wasn't at Speed or the Tunnel or any of the places where, you know,
it was lit. He wasn't where it was lit at.
With people that was, you know, or even the Fever. I think that the Fever on
Fever. He wasn't at the Fever.
Off of Fordham Road, that was right. The Fever was on Fordham Road on right. Off of Jerome, I think Jerome and something.
Jerome.
So those was the spots back then that, you know, if you was somebody, you would be at, you know what I'm saying? But hey, listen, that's neither here nor there. Today, he is a Muslim and he's supposed to be preaching Islam to the community. And I'm saying you can't do that drunk and crazy with promoting liquor and all that all the time. Like every video, he either got a bottle of liquor or he got a weapon on the video. Like what is this shit with the axes and the hatchets and the swords and all this shit? Like, like, what are we teaching the youth? Like this nigga got goldfish in his backyard and he got knives on the front of his icon. Like, what are you doing, bro? He's built a nice home for himself, a nice home for his children. Like you could just leave the other shit. You could just leave the other shit out the content. We don't need you drunk and getting shot in the middle of the project.
Enqi, you know what a lot of people tell me, Enqi? I be having these phone calls with these OGs, man. They say, yo, what he need to do is focus on survivors. Focus on starting a program for survivors, talk about survivors, and leave the other nut shit alone.
Hold on. I'm gonna tell you the problem with that. And this is where people be hitting me like, yo, Enqi, you supposed to have more subs. You supposed to be on lot. Nah, I made a choice. See, pop culture is pop conversation. If you want to have the numbers, you got to talk about what you got to do, the gossip, the current event shit. So, okay, current event, DJ Academic rape charge. All right, cool. So we're going to do a platform on a DJ Academic rape charge. Everybody wants to tune in and discuss that. If you do a podcast dedicated to survivors, you're going to have 15 people, 30 people, 40 people in there. So the quality of the content will go up through the roof, but the money that you generate from that content will drop. And so when people are presented that choice with chasing their money, the however they chase it versus putting that's when you find out who's really with the shit. That's why I'm saying the same way niggas could get G checked in the street. Oh, you a gangster? Let's test that. It's the same way niggas can get tested with the consciousness. Oh, you a conscious nigga? Let's test that. When it's time for you to make the sacrifice, nigga, which way you going? You gonna go get the bag or you gonna do the quality shit? Because that's what it means to be conscious. What it means to be conscious is that when you got to make the choice, it's not money over everything. It's not the measure of a man is determined by how much fucking money he got. That don't mean nothing. The measure of a man is his character. The measure of a man is what he's willing to sacrifice. The measure of the man is not what he's willing to participate in, but what he's willing to watch go on while he don't take part in it. That's what the whole deen is with abstaining from certain sexual practices, abstaining from alcohol, abstaining from certain types of food, abstaining from certain types of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it comes down to. You know what I'm saying? And absolutely. The mental illness part. The mental illness part. I'm glad Bob is following us in the chat because I wouldn't have remembered to even think about this if he hadn't put that in the chat. Back when I was younger, right? When I was young, and when I'm saying young, I'm talking about like 10 years old, 15 years old. They still had mental hospitals. That was a thing. Like if you was demonstrating mental illness, they send you to the crazy house. That's what they called it, the crazy house, the loony bin, or the mental hospital, right? And obviously those are inflammatory, triggering terms, disrespectful terms to people with mental health issues. But my point is this: at least those facilities did exist back then. Nowadays, 90% of the people that are mentally ill do not get help. What they get is locked up. So you got the prison population becoming the cover for mental illness. 70% of the prison population is over-medicated. Over-medicated. You can't rehabilitate drugged up. Like literally, that's a part of getting rehabilitating is sobering up, dealing with your shit in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we dealing with a mental illness crisis. We dealing with a mental illness crisis where we creating scenarios where like niggas is car wrecks. You know a car wreck, right?
Yeah.
Everybody driving, they slow down and start rubbernecking. They look to see the car wreck. Like, oh my God, am I going to see a missing leg or am I going to see a nigga smashed up and bloody? Like everybody's slowing down to look at the car wreck. A lot of these niggas on the internet is car wrecks. Niggas is watching, but nobody's watching to offer help.
Nope.
Nobody's watching, like, in the context of this video, it's going to definitely be taken the wrong way. But a few times I offered to send Zip some of my CMOS free of charge. Like, yo, that cough.
These brothers be
like,
hey, let me tell you something, enqi. These brothers be sick.
Bellevue. That's the fucking name I was looking for. Bellevue. Niggas don't have Bellevues no more. And I'm sure that was only in our local, in New York shit, but I'm sure every city, Detroit, Chicago, everywhere had mental hospitals. Now they send niggas the fuck to jail.
Thanks. But like you said, like a lot of these brothers, they is just mentally fucked up. But people don't understand that weed that weed is laced with a whole lot of shit in it. There's a lot of bullshit in it right now. A lot of that weed, that alcohol got a lot of bullshit in it where it's fucking with your chemical imbalance. So, like enqi saying is, you fucking up your heart, your liver, your kidneys, your whole insides. You know what I'm saying? And I got alcoholics in my family. I got drug addicts in my
Listen,
family, man,
niggas
and they
just
going
pimping.
through it.
Niggas just pimping us because one
Yeah.
of the first early warning signs that you got heart disease is when your penis stop getting hard in the morning.
Yep.
Nobody teaches niggas that. This shit I gotta teach niggas, and then I gotta wrestle with niggas for them to understand it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, instead of you going to get Viagra, nigga, you need a set of push-ups. Instead of you going to get some fucking Black Samurai pills from the store or the gas station, my nigga, you need a salad. Like, you need a salad, some push-ups, and some fucking water, instead of trying to cover up the fact that the shit ain't working with pills and other shit. Like, nigga, that's a problem. That means that the capillaries that feed the blood to your private is closing off.
You could tell them dudes are sick,
If
man. Like enqi, you could tell like Hassan and Zip, these niggas are sick, man, because like I saw some shit on Hassan lip, and I'm like, yo, damn, this nigga got so much health issues. You could tell he got diabetes. You could tell he got all type of issues with his gray disease, all type of thing.
what
Like he
the
ain't eating
fuck
right.
just happened?
You know
Yo,
what I'm saying?
hold on. You just took a turn with, you said you saw some shit on his lips.
Yeah, he had, because it was on his live, and he said he had used his knife, and the shit was big. It looked crazy. I was like, what the fuck was that
You
on his
gotta
lip?
relax. You going
You know?
crazy.
And I'm like, no, because you know, like, yo, I'm gonna keep it real, because you know I be into that holistic thing. You know, I drink tea in the morning. You know, I try to eat the right as possible, because you know what you put in your body is definitely, you know, how you will able to live. Because a lot of people don't understand that you need to know how to eat to live. You know, Elijah Muhammad taught us that, eat to live. So if you don't know how to eat to live, and you out here eating them Chinese wings, that fast food, you drinking that liquor, you smoking that weed, you know, and like Zip, you hear him coughing, you could tell like, dog, y'all dudes is leaving here every day. Dudes is leaving here every day. They smoking and
Listen,
drinking
and let me
and
tell you,
leave.
that was my early inspiration, because my heart stopped back in the days, and I credit my wife and my mom's, like, not solely, like, I don't solely blame them for it, but I blame them to some extent for it, because the whole time I was gaining weight, they kept like patting me on the back, like, oh yeah. My mom's was gassing me, like, oh yeah, my baby look good. He getting money. He must be eating good. He eating good. He eating good. So I go from 170 pounds to 185 pounds. Oh yeah, look at my baby. His cheeks filling out. 195 pounds, 210 pounds, 220 pounds. Nigga, I was 250 pounds before I figured out, like, nah, nigga, you not eating good. You eating a lot.
Yep.
One of these young niggas gonna beat your ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
like you're not even in shape to you know what I mean, have a little. So shit like that snap you back into place. You know what I'm saying? Like people don't realize that, like, you taking risk with your life, risk with your freedom to try to get something. And if you so reckless with yourself during that process, by the time you even get a few dollars, you got your baby, you got a few dollars, you're not going to be healthy enough to enjoy it.
Yeah. Yo, that's so true.
Going to turn into something.
Yo, that's so true, enqi, because Styles P had said something, and it was true facts. He said, yo, a lot of the murders and the killings in our community is because of what niggas is absorbing in these restaurants, man. A lot of that food they eating is fucking with their brain. You know what I'm saying? That fast food, that MGM, like all that shit, that MSG, that's fucking with your mental. That MSG fucking with your mental for real. Like and then you indulge that with the liquor and the
No, that's a
weed,
fact. No,
like
that's a
that
fact.
right there
Listen,
just make you erratic.
sugar is more addictive than cocaine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so people don't realize that biochemists make the most money in the food industry because they know how to change the food and make the food addictive. They know how to make the food work like a drug. So the same way we look at a crackhead, we don't realize that it's niggas that got the same shit going on inside their mind as a dope
Just
fiend or
like a
as a
crackhead.
crackhead, but just off regular food though, because they don't understand what that food doing to their mind. They don't understand what that food doing to their body. They don't understand what that food doing to their relationship. Like for instance, a nigga might have a problem. Now check this scenario out. You find out your girl cheated on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now your shit in the house is going crazy. Now you leave the house and you go do something impulsive, and now you get 5 years for that, 10 years for that. What
Mm-hmm.
if the reason that she cheated is because, oh, well, he wasn't satisfying me sexually? I found out that 60 to 70% of women that's not having orgasms is not having orgasms because their vagina's not right. They not
Mm-hmm.
having orgasms because they're not having a hard on. A woman has to have a hard on just like a man has a hard on. The harder
Mm-hmm.
her clitoris gets, the harder her clitoris gets, the faster she can have an orgasm. If her clitoris gets hard, she can have multiple orgasms. If her clitoris does not get hard, she can't have no orgasm. She damn near got to beat her vagina to death to just get an orgasm. And the way a woman gets a hard on is the same way a man gets a hard on. The
Mm-hmm.
fluids have to fill up the clitoris, the same way the fluids in the body have to fill up the penis.
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is the clitoris is not going to prevent sex. So if her clitoris doesn't get engorged, you could still wet the vagina, slide up in there, and do what it is you're trying to do. She just not going to be satisfied. And if she don't have no knowledge of herself, she's going to blame her lack of being satisfied on your lack of attention or
Mm-hmm.
you not being able to, when the reality is you went to Starbucks, you had orange juice, you
Mm-hmm.
had soda. Some of these women is running around and they don't drink water. They drink water. They drink water 2-3 times a week. They drink water 5 to 10 cups a month.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't drink no water, your ass is dehydrated. Your vagina, it might get wet, but that doesn't mean you have an engorgement. This is
Yeah.
why there's so many women that have inflammation inside their vagina, inside the womb, inside the uterus, surrounding the fallopian tubes. So now, and I keep saying this shit on every platform I go on, because this to me is the most important red flag there is. Niggas be like, yo, what about AIDS? What about herpes? What about monkeypox? What about this and that? Listen, none of that shit is as important as the fact that our men's penises no longer work, our women's vaginas no longer work, so we're
Mm-hmm.
not having babies like before.
Mm-hmm.
Women is having to go get IVF. So you got motherfuckers trying to eat an organic salad and making GMO babies. This whole GMO niggas walking around out here.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Yo, it's a whole GMO humans out here that's talking about they eating organic salad. My guy, you was not even made by a penis and a vagina. You was made, like they whipped you up, nigga. Like niggas whipping up that, like niggas whipping up niggas. Like this is, we got to get those things like the basics.
Yeah.
Having babies, breastfeeding the baby, understanding the need to breastfeed the baby. The baby's brain doesn't even fully develop. So, and this is where the connection between health and the streets and your everyday life have to come in, because people don't really see how they don't see the value of listening to a Dr. Enqi or going to get the books and studying it. All this shit. If your child doesn't have a complete brain development, that nigga's gonna sit in class and he's gonna be the slowest nigga in class.
Yeah.
And because he can't express himself and articulate himself, he's gonna punch a nigga. Like he's gonna speak with his hands. When you can't speak with your mouth, you speak with your hands. Where the logic runs out, you reach out and touch a nigga. So
that's a fact.
That's not gonna clear violence. Like, oh, everybody's gonna read books and stop being violent. No, it's violent, but the propensity will go down. Impulse control will go up. The rates of people coming home and going back to prison, those will go down.
Yeah,
those will go down because the things that we do 9 out of 10 times, it's not like you got a whole bunch of niggas going to jail for being kingpin. It's not like you got a whole bunch of niggas going to jail because they got 15 bodies. And so we don't have mass killers and, niggas with a whole bunch of kilos. Like, that doesn't exist. Niggas is going to jail for shit that the moment they sit down in jail, they like, damn, what the fuck did I do that for? Or why did I listen to this nigga? Or how did I let Shorty get me so out off my square that I did this or that or the other? You know what I'm saying? Like 5 minutes worth of thinking, would change. And that comes with, I'm gonna tell you something, that comes with, like changing the game in terms of who we listen to, who we sit up under, and who we idolize. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're forgetting that there's people that did sell drugs or whatever that never went to jail.
That's a fact.
If we trying to, if that's the culture we trying to go to, why are we listening to niggas that got locked up? Why would you be trying to learn how to do that from a nigga who failed at it? Like what? Like none of the logic.
Nigga, you got caught. I say, nigga, you got caught, enqi. That's what I say.
Like none of the that's what I'm saying. Like none of the logic works. Like I'm like, no, nigga, no, none of this shit works. And then you ask niggas the number one question. All right, so you want your kid to do? Well, of course not. I'm trying to get these babies. How, nigga? Because children learn by what they see you do. If you read, then your kid's gonna read. If you don't read, but you tell them to read, they're gonna see reading as a punishment.
Fact.
Or they're gonna fucking read urban literature. You know what I'm saying? Which is the worst thing for your kids to fucking read. I prefer the kids not to read at all than to read urban literature. Period. Because reading ingrains things deep into your psyche. So back in the days when I was young, there was no urban literature. That did not exist. There was only Iceberg Slim and Donald Goings. That's it. And they didn't even name it a genre yet. It was just them two niggas. Like literally, there was nothing else out there. And nothing else came for years. They didn't flood the streets with urban literature books until niggas start reading. When the Africans start setting up everywhere, tables selling books, and niggas start making $200 a day standing on the corner selling knowledge, $300, $400 a day selling books, real thick books, like books for you to learn and improve your life, self-development, 48 laws of power, shit like. Then they started to flood the market with all kinds of urban literature to get
the coldest winter, true to the game, Dutch. They started flooding with that.
Facts. They redirected all of the readers' attention from that quality shit to the bullshit. And the bullshit, you could read them books in like a day or two. So it made you really feel like after a week, you be like, oh, I read 10 books. Like, nigga, stop. That's you didn't. That shit is terrible. You ain't learned nothing from those 10 books that you couldn't have learned looking out your window. You know what I'm saying? The whole idea to reading is you want to be able to consume lives that you would like to live that you haven't yet, or you haven't had the opportunity. You want your mind to be able to travel. Your ass might not be able to get to Egypt, but your mind can go there. Your body may not be able to get into a mansion, but your mind can go there. You can read how this nigga did it, and now you can, oh, okay, he did it now. Oh, okay. And the people that's in control of industry understand this process. So they're going to flood us with a certain type of content, which is why now online, again, bringing us back full circle, This is why, me and Ten Toes had the debate. This is why I issued, the challenge. He issued me a challenge. This is where we're at, because it's too much shit on the internet, and we started it. So it's nobody else gonna clean it up. Hassan Campbell is literally the godfather of the dirty section, and Hassan Campbell is a baby of the content community. Hassan Campbell, Sarnetta gave birth to him. Boop. So now all your kids, Hassan, like those are Sarnetta grandkids, and I'm Uncle Enqi to all these platforms. So I gotta come around and be like, hold on.
Yeah.
You can have your ice cream and all that shit after you have your dinner, but I need you to eat them vegetables. So yeah, let's do the gossip and all of the paperwork party shit and all the goofball shit. We enjoy it. It's entertainment. But we got to talk about this mental health. We got to talk about the fact that our women, like people watching this shit, they know that they done had babies, and I can't produce milk, so we got to go get powder. I can't produce milk, so we got to go get the canned formula. But they may not understand that when you get the canned formula or the powder formula, you fucking up your kid's immune system. You fucking up their brain development. So now, fast forward 10, 15 years later, when they trying to put him on medication in school, ADD medication and all that, people are not sharp enough to link those two things together. They're not gonna put the blame on themselves and say the reason why your kid need medication in school is because what you ate while you was pregnant. They're not gonna say that your kid need medication because your kid need medication because you gave him bottled formula after having a C-section baby. Like you didn't. Like they're not gonna put two and two together. You see what I'm saying? And this is the shit that's the real value, if nothing else. You know what I'm saying? Like we got to realize the connection that health has with our everyday life. This is the reason why health has always been associated with money. When we go back in the days, we never seen jacuzzis. We thought jacuzzis, and many people still think a jacuzzi is a thing that rich people have. No, jacuzzi is a thing that health conscious people have. It's a part of a spa treatment. It's a part of cleaning your skin. That's why you get in the hot tub. That's what a hot tub is for. It's not so you can pop champagne and get a blowjob. A hot tub is to exfoliate your skin. You know what I'm saying? Like treadmills. A treadmill is a sign of wealth because back in the days, we only seen movies with either the big time drug dealer or the fat bald CEO of $1 billion company is jogging on the treadmill. But we didn't see that in the common. It's not until later on when gyms start opening up and people got access and they deal with it in a trendy way. Okay, you get you a little gym membership, go for a few weeks and stop going because you just wanted to be able to take part in what you seen built up in your mind as something that you didn't have access to. But once you have access to it, it loses its luster because you don't know how to connect what you do as a daily habit to what you're going to have later on in life. So niggas think they can call you up and get a herb that's going to heal you overnight. You done lived a certain type of way for 25 years that got you diabetes, and now you want an herb that's going to heal you in 3 days. You done smashed raw. You done smashed raw for 15 years. You don't know who you eat. Now you're looking for a herb to clean that situation up in 2 or 3 days. You know what I'm saying? Like you done had a certain behavior pattern for 40 years that got you cancer, and now you want to know if a detox can get the cancer out of you in 4 nights. Like, this is not how this shit go. Everything that's worth having is worth working for. Everything that's worth keeping, gotta be worth fighting for. If not, you're not gonna have it. You're not gonna have it. You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple. You know what I'm saying? And health, which is the real form of wealth. Because if you don't have your physical health and your mental health, nothing else matters.
That's a fact.
So if you don't have those things, and those is not things that you can purchase. This is the problem that niggas don't. So there's no, I'm gonna get money and deal with that later. There is no get money and deal with that later. NFL players realize that they're trading in years off their life to change their family tree. I know that playing football is potentially going to take 20 years off my life, but my babies, you know, my wife, my sister, my brother, my mom's, I'm changing the family tree for them. Niggas got to get to that family tree talk. That's how you deal with all of the other shit that niggas is talking about. Oh, Illuminati this, and the politicians doing that, and corporations doing this. Let me tell you what all those people are actually doing. They're making generational plans. They're dealing with generational wealth and generational health. None of those things happens by mistake. All those things take concentration on a day-to-day basis. So if you're not buying them Dr. Enqi books off Amazon, you bullshit. That's what that means. You know what I'm saying? And now we're getting into, like, I got my babies writing books now. So now my babies is writing books for babies. We got a series out called Generational Health, where they're the main authors. You know what I'm saying? And we dealing with chemistry and economics at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to learn both of them together, chemistry and economics. The two things they not teaching our babies in school. And to be honest, we shouldn't be waiting for them to teach our babies this shit in school. Like, that's the fucking problem. Everybody want to sit around and be like, oh, well, they're not teaching this in school. They're not teaching this in school. Nigga, buy them fucking books off Amazon. You buying socks off Amazon. You buying shoes and groceries and all kinds of other goofy shit off Amazon. How the fuck you not buying books? Amazon is a book website.
Yeah.
Amazon is a website. Wait. What's the nigga name that own Amazon?
Jeff Bezos.
Jeff Bezos added in all this other shit. So you niggas buying protein powders and herbs and vitamins. All that shit was extra. Jeff Bezos he created Amazon to sell books. Amazon is the biggest, like, that should be the biggest richest entrepreneur on earth right now did it with books. So again, niggas got to get focused. He did it with books. He ain't do it selling pussy. He didn't do it selling drugs. He didn't do it selling the idea of pussy or drugs.
He did it with books.
With books. And I be watching these little stories and clips, and when they tell the Jeff Bezos story, like, they minimize that part, and the rest of the stories, I'm like, nah, the most important thing to learn from Jeff Bezos is that this nigga's a fucking, like, he's going to be a trillionaire. If anybody hits trillionaire status, it's going to be him. And he did it selling books.
No, that's a fact. Listen, let me say this, because I got a Google Books account and I got a Kindle account. So, and I got the Audible. So one thing I do is I read all different type of books. I like to read self-help books, religious books. It's whatever, because, you know, you got to feed the mind with knowledge. You know, a lot of dudes don't understand that less is more. You know what I'm saying? Dudes want to work hard, but don't want to work smarter. I'd rather work smarter than harder. You know, so that's what you got to do. You got to push yourself and absorb the knowledge and obtain it. Because
listen, no, go ahead. You hitting the nail on the head. I was just going to say that's the reason why, like, you know, people don't really understand it. And Sa's a human, and Sa's done a lot of things that people disagree with. And I'm talking about Sa Nutter for people that don't know. But overall, people have to realize you got to respect that institution. Like he done made a space where, for better or for worse, all of those different traditions, when the world stops paying attention to the gods, when they stop paying attention to the Muslims, the Israelites, the holistic, like when all of those things fade away from the importance and priority systems of everybody in the world, and they more interested in fucking Kendrick and Drake beef and other goofy, you know, like in that pocket of the universe, he kept that shit. So kept the flame alive. So people gotta respect House of Consciousness for this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Nah, you know, and that's the thing, like, cause you know, like House of Consciousness gave really a lot of brothers platforms that was on the 125th Street building. You know what I'm saying? That probably, you know, would have never had a voice. So when he went social media with it instead of DVDs, and he came on YouTube and brought these brothers on here, you know, he gave them an outlet. And now, you know, a lot of them broadened out, a lot of them got big and made names for themselves, but they all started in the House of Consciousness building, debating, and gave them a conversation piece where a lot of brothers wasn't, you know, because it was a time where, you know, a lot of people was not really on consciousness no more. You know, it was all about the money, 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 the bag, bag, bag. You know, consciousness was in the conversation no more. It wasn't like in the 90s where brothers would pick up a Dr. York book or pick up a Clarence 13X pamphlet or pick up a Final Call newspaper. It wasn't like that no more. You know, a lot of brothers was on that bag or chasing a bag. So everything was about chasing a bag. So a lot of brothers lost that. So when Sarnetta came on during that 2010s, where that avenue and that lane, a lot of brothers ain't had that lane with the conscious lane. So he opened up alley oop for brothers to say, you know what? I'm gonna open this lane for the brothers on YouTube, and I'm gonna give y'all the conscious lane. And that sprung Hassan Campbell's, the Polites, you know, the young Pharaohs, the SETI, everybody, you know.
Yo, hold up. Nah, man, we gotta change. That's a fucked up resume.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying, you know, they was the one.
No. Look, no, the Dr. Enqis, the Jabaris,
the Jabaris,
you know what I'm saying? We gotta
the
put some
Captain
different words in there.
the Captain Tazariaks.
We can throw Captain in there. Umar Johnson. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people, you know what I'm saying? Some names.
Zaza Ali, because Zaza used to be up there. You know.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Shout out to Zaza.
Zaza
A lot of
Ali.
people forgot about Zaza after her
the shit with her and Griff.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But
you know,
Zaza's the truth though.
Dr. Mayat, you know, all of them came out of that whole House of Consciousness. You know, A.A. Rashid was on there, Supernova, you know, the Pills. So it was a lot of brothers that came off of that whole House of Consciousness, and you know, they ventured off, did their own thing, got their own YouTube channels popping. But if it wasn't for House of Consciousness giving that avenue, like how brothers like Gil Noble and Tony Brown was giving brothers that avenue back in the 80s, that's what Sarnetta was doing, giving that avenue to brothers in the 2010s.
Nigga said Gil Noble. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I had to drop a gem right there.
That's crazy. I was a baby watching that shit, so I don't know how you remember Gil Noble. That's crazy.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's what it was. In fact, I think it was on the Gil Noble show that Francis Cress Wilson had that debate with what's this racist guy? He wrote the book describing Black intelligence.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
As proof that we came from monkeys and all kinds of crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, he got some stuff still floating around, I believe. I think
it's still on YouTube. You still can find it. Yeah, you still can find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
And like, and you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what Sarnetta was on a broader, because in New York, like enqi just said, you know, Gil Noble, ABC, Sundays, you know, that was Gil Noble. You know what I'm saying? That's for us in New York. Now for the brothers outside of New York, when they saw Consciousness hit on the scene with Sarnetta, it was next level. You know what I'm saying? Because he took it the whole level where, Farrakhan took it and many others, but he took it to a whole mainstream level that you got the mainstream motherfuckers now knowing about the athletes, the Ron
and that's
Artestas, the Floyd Mayweathers, you know what I'm saying? The Puffies. Come on, man.
Said the Puffies.
Yo, Revolt and enqi. Revolt was starting to get into that Sarnetta lane. Like before he got his allegations, 19 Keys, Shaka Ball, come on. All of them came out of the House of Consciousness.
But look, that's the reason too. Like people gotta have the right type of people. That's a once the 19 Keys and the Billy Carlsons and all of the fake, like you got that synthetic energy around, like them ain't the real, like them ain't the genuine article, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that it's a predictor to see the fall, you know what I'm saying? But I agree with you 1,000%, you know what I'm saying? Like, because my disagreements and beef with Saul, we done doxed each other, and that's public. I can't erase that from the mind of the people. But I can say that outside of just me and him talking and squashing or whatever, I was able to see the value of having an institution, even if it's not a real institution, even if it's only a platform that's an institution because it lives in our minds. That as an anchor, just to anchor the consciousness somewhere, that's important. Niggas gotta respect that, because without Sa, like people think of all these things and try to critique the nigga and do exposed videos. But what about what would have happened without Sa, without that platform, without all these debates and arguments to draw people's attention back to the deen, back to the discipline, back to some sort of self-study of self-development, because consciousness has always been our form of self-development.
Of course.
Corporate America, their self-development is to teach you how to make more sales. But our self-development has always been to build the mind, to build the body, to get stronger. That's what real strength, you know what I'm saying? And the type of strength to endure what life throw at you, not necessarily bench press the most weight. You know what I'm saying? Like that was always what we as a people, you know what I'm saying? So you got to take your hat off the style. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, you got to, like I always say, like it wasn't for Sa, a lot of brothers would have platforms. You know what I'm saying? Whether people like it or not, Sa helped out a lot of people's platforms. A lot of brothers got YouTube channels and making the money they making because they was on House of Consciousness. Now like enqi just said, now you got the conscious community now. It's synthetic. It's mainstream. It's like everything else. Once it hit the mainstream,
microwave niggas,
it's
microwave. Niggas that don't got no lineage. They just jumping on a large platform and taking somebody else's actual research, jumping on a large platform, like, yeah, my name is such and such. Like, whoa, who is this? Who's your teacher? Where you came from? Before you cannot just be a teacher. You have to be a student somewhere. You can't just be an OG. You can't just run the block. You had to, you know what I'm saying? Like, where was you a little guy at? Where was you a student? Where did you work the mail room at before you became the manager? Like, you just jumping on the internet like, oh, I'm such and such teacher. I'm from. That's the big problem.
Hey, yo, let me ask you,
because
you brought up Billy Carson, right? And I've been hearing about him. I heard about him through people, and they kept telling me about, son. I see like Terrence Howard and them be getting teachings from him. A lot of people, and I'm like, dude came out of nowhere.
They gotta relax.
Dude came out of nowhere, like
But Terrence Howard. Listen, when Terrence Howard did that video on Joe Rogan, I enjoyed the video. Let me say this before I go say anything else. I enjoyed the video because I looked at it as entertainment. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was a dope video. You know what I'm saying? Now, when people started hitting me up, asking me to do a reaction to the video, for the first day or two, I was like, nah, I'm leaving that shit alone because, you know, I like Terrence Howard and I think the video, you know, I thought it was a dope video. People, more and more people start asking. I was like, all right, fuck it. I got to do a reaction to the video. So when I do a reaction to the video and I tell people, Terrence Howard doesn't know anything of what he's talking about. None of this is real science. This is all gobbledygook. He's playing. This is not like, this is what he's doing is he's trying to drum up a lot of interest in those drones that he created because he's looking for somebody to come finance his drone thing. I was like, the rest of this shit is just he just saying all kind of triggering shit to get people fired up so he could find an investor. I was like, yo, none of this science. People was mad as a motherfucker with me because I said that I had to go through the video and piece by piece, like point out, like, okay, this is incorrect. This is incorrect. Let me teach you why this is incorrect and this is incorrect. So later on, it made sense to me that he was getting information from Billy Carson because I know that the shit that Terrence was saying. See, the problem is, like when Jay-Z said, I don't argue with fools because people from the distance can't tell who's who. When you're dealing with a debate, everybody is the same distance physically. What makes you at a far distance is how well you understand the conversation. And so because 90% of the people that watch that are scientifically illiterate. Because they scientifically illiterate, they only went on the fact that it looks like Terrence, he's a black man. He looks like he understands scientific concepts. And we want to see ourselves in the intelligent light so bad that we just put anybody up there. You know what I'm saying? It just got to sound like something. So Billy Carson, he built his platform up on Instagram, posting motivational clips from other niggas. Once he built up a bunch of followers, then he started stealing shit off my page and a couple other niggas' pages, remixing it into
he another
like,
another Hassan Campbell.
Oh, he's worse. But wait, niggas got the nerve to come to me and they be like, yo, but enqi, I don't hear you teaching about Sumeria. I'm like, nigga, how do you approach a nigga whose name is enqi and then say you don't hear him teaching the Sumerian shit? I'm like, are you niggas insane? Like,
that's a fact.
Like, nigga, my name, like, I'm like, huh? Do you know who enqi was? Do you know where enqi's house was? Enqi is the first god of water.
That's a fact.
Since I've been here, that's always been the focal point of everything that I build on science-wise is the science of water. Niggas don't understand. Like, we have trouble processing information, right? Like for instance, if we learn in the metal nature, right? If we learn in the metal nature that the Jed pillar is a representative of the spine, right? We don't have to continue to study Egyptian words to learn more about the Jed pillar. Once we learn that the Jed pillar is the spine, well, now we can study the spine. We can study the nerves, we can study neurons, and we can learn all kind of shit about the Jed pillar without ever having to study the metal nature.
That's a fact.
Because it's the spine. So it's another language. So, okay, cool. I could study the spine in English. I don't need to study water in fucking cuneiform to be like, I don't need to learn about water in cuneiform to be teaching the Sumerian science. The Sumerian science was about getting life out of water. Period.
See, enqi, Terrence Howard should have hollered at you, enqi. He should have hollered at you. You would have got him right.
Hey, listen, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? Who knows what'll happen tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the quantity and the quality always going to be found in two different places. You know what I'm saying? It's like back in the days, they used to have jumbo-sized nickel bags that you could break down into 2 or 3. You could break down into 3 or 4 tray bags or 2 or 3 other nickel bags and sell somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
You learn that that's that big bag of garbage. You want some quality, the quality gonna look like this, but you're gonna get what you pay for. In
Yep.
the world of YouTube, it's the same thing. When you go over there and you see a nigga saying some old crazy shit, oh, Jesus is coming back next week, and I could prove it. Like, okay, he's getting ready to get 500,000 clicks on that, because that's. And then they promoting mushrooms and ayahuasca and DMT and all kind of conscious dope fiend shit along to go along with it. So you you trading in this type of dope fiend, like you trading in the lean to go get on shrooms and like, nigga, get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you come over here with me, I'm getting ready to put some responsibility on you. I'm getting ready to be like, yo, you got to get these books. You got to start reading. We expecting a certain amount of push-ups and shit. We expecting. So when you come to my platform, we're going to put work on you and we're going to put responsibility on you. When you go to another platform, they're going to tell you to go buy some weed and, you know, turn up or pop some. All right, cool. Those things all have their place. But the numbers is going to always be lopsided towards the goofy shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you always going to find more people in an amusement park than you will in the library. These are just facts. And the library, you get in for free. The amusement park, you got to pay to get in. And there's always going to be more people in the amusement park than the library. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't making no millionaires and billionaires out of the library. I mean, out of the amusement park. You ain't extending nobody's life with roller coaster rides, but you can extend lives with books, you know. So these are just facts of life that, you know, we can't change in our lifetime. But, you know, I'm good at raising hell, you know, and I can pick my spots when I can raise hell and get people's awareness to, you know. So I appreciate Zip, not only because I like Zip's content, the entertainment side of it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm from the 158th Street in the Bronx. No matter how conscious I get, I'm gonna still be full of ratchet. You know, I'm still gonna be who I am. You know what I'm saying? But on the flip side, I appreciate Zip for creating a space where he could be my case study. You know what I'm saying? Because now there's a discussion between Dr. Enqi and Zip with the drip. And so it comes out in this debate between me and him back and forth. Zip done read a hell of a lot of books. Zip is a Muslim. Zip is a college student. I watched a lot of Zip with the drip videos. I never seen the video where he talked about being a college student before.
Nope.
Like, so now I'm saying, like it or not, the conversation is enlightening people. And even though Zip might not like it, Zip is getting new fans because niggas seen Zip debating that House of Consciousness. He took an L, but they see a different side of Zip. And Zip, unfortunately, nigga, you cannot take it back. The cat's out of the bag. Niggas know you an intellectual now. You was in the closet. Now you out of the closet. You're an intellectual. Even if, you know, you still got to brush that shit up. You still got to brush it up. You got a while to go, but I'm just saying, niggas got to stop keeping that shit in the closet. You know what I'm saying? The babies need to hear that too. They need to hear, like, there would probably be no me if it wasn't for my older cousin Cavario. Because he was at the rooftop, you know, he was, you know, in the street doing I just put it like that. He was in the street, you know, doing what he do. But he was a vegan back in the time when there was not even a word vegan. It was vegetarian. You know what I'm saying? So that made me curious. I'm like, oh, okay, he's still doing all them other things that the streets say make you a real nigga, quote unquote. But he's also doing this. So now I'm curious about this. There's going to be people that watch Zip that's going to be like, oh, wait a minute. This is a good question. If you were so happy with your gangster shit, why did you become Muslim in the first place? What was the purpose of that? I want him to answer that question, because there's no way for him to answer that question without telling the truth that he was trying to turn over a new leaf. He was trying to add more positive shit into his life. And that's all I'm trying to get niggas to add the balance to it. You know what I'm saying? Zip music, sometimes I might turn on a Zip video just to hear that first song. Zip is talent. Zip is the shit. But, he's a great case study now, because now I got to open up the books and I got to show people, no, hold up. It's time to get back to study. Niggas is looking like Larry Holmes, flabby and sick out here. It's time to get back sharp. Niggas got to get sharp again. You know what I'm saying? It's time to get sharp again and get in tune with, you know what I'm saying? So I still got more shit I got to deal with Zip. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he made some crazy statements about milk and cows and Islam, and oh my goodness. But Bulletz, we've been here for almost 3 hours, man.
Yeah, man. Salute. I want to say I thank you. I thank you for pulling up, enqi. This was a good live. A lot of gems was brought in this one. Great conversation. For the people that missed this live, y'all can go watch the replay. You know, we touched on a lot of things. And
hey, listen,
like
listen, you got to tell Wack he got to bring some real ones up on that panel he be having on Clubhouse. He be bringing he be bringing the worst conscious niggas of all time. I'm like, yo, where is he finding it? Who's managing this? So who's grabbing these? Like, these niggas that don't represent consciousness. Like, I don't understand how street niggas that check niggas street credibility, gangster niggas that check niggas, that G-check niggas, I don't understand how they just dance a conscious nigga out there and nobody thinks that, hold up, this nigga need a C check. That's the term, a C check, a conscious check. Who could verify that you was a part of this movement, my nigga? Where you put in some work at? You open up a school or daycare somewhere, niggas know you for passing out some pamphlets. You like, where did you push the line at? Have you ever been arrested during a protest, my nigga? Like, where you been at? Like, what conscious activities do you like? Oh, you seen what you seen. You seen Polite walking around with 3-4 joints with fat booties, or you seen enqi running around. Oh, enqi marrying porn star. You seen some flashy shit that looked attractive. You seen a nigga wearing name brand clothes talking consciousness, and that, oh, wait a minute. It's a few dollars over there. So let me go over there and see if I can hustle up a few dollars. Like, nah, nigga, like everything else in life, this got to be some shit you really dedicated to. LeBron doesn't become the best in the world if he don't wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to shoot jump shots. Steph Curry don't become the best in the world if he's not shooting 1,000 3-pointers a day. You don't get to pop up in front of the room as a conscious, whatever they call. Like, nah, nigga, these niggas is fly by night, jump off the top rope niggas, man. You got to tell Wack, you got to have some real verified niggas that's verified by verifiable sources. Look, verified niggas by verifiable sources. You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. Now, enqi, I'm gonna open a room because I want to get back on them conscious conversations, and I'm definitely gonna get Wack in the room, and I'm gonna get you on there because, like you said, there's a lot of dudes that be faking the funk, and they really be listening to your teachings and be trying to. I'll be hearing cats in there on Clubhouse taking your shit, and I'll be like, damn. These niggas.
Clubhouse damn near the house. Yeah. Clubhouse damn near the house that enqi built when it comes to the conscious niggas.
Hell yeah.
Because they feel like they could go to Clubhouse and nobody will know what they saying.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna sneak over there. Like, nah. When I'm teaching some shit I learned from Dr. Sebi, I say this is what I got from Dr. Sebi. When I'm teaching some shit that I learned from Dr. Africa, I say, yo, this, I don't see. That's how you know where they come from. Because if they really conscious, they would understand that a part of African spirituality has always been to call out the names of our ancestors. Forget what you learned in these Western academia settings about referencing other scholars. No, forget about that. When your ancestors are also the scholars, you take pride in calling out these names. Like, nah, I learned this from such and such. I even reference younger people than me. Like, nah, I got this from such and such, or I got this from such. Like, that's how you breathe life, not only into the community, but into the ancestors and into the information. And it doesn't take away from what you're doing. The problem is these niggas don't have anything they doing besides remixing other niggas' shit. See, if they had research that was their own, they wouldn't mind saying, oh, well, I learned this from enqi, because that would just be a side to what their main course is. But their main course is, oh, I'm got this whole shit is Sabi mixed with enqi, mixed with Afro. Like, nah, nigga, you ain't. And that's because these niggas don't read. You got niggas online that's supposed to be online teachers that don't read books. All they do is sit at home and watch old videos, and they'll watch it 3 or 4 times in a row and then turn on their camera and remix the whole shit they just watched. I used to catch Pharaoh doing that shit. I used to do videos, going through the videos and be like, all right, so this is my shit from 2005. And okay, well, let's stop it right here. This right here is from such and such's book on page 2. Like, I could go through niggas' shit and see where they stealing it from. I'm so cold with it that I can see when they mixing up our shit with other. I'll be like, okay, so now that's mine. Now that part right there, they got that from Jack Cruz. Hold up, that part's from David Sinclair. No, they got that from. Okay, that's not from Sabi, or that's from Jehudi Ma'atra. Like, I can put I know when the time slot. Like, no, nobody came up with that. That's Jew Pukram. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just too fake. You know what I'm saying? It got to be the authentic. You know what I'm saying? It got to be the authentic shit.
Yeah.
So
no, that's a fact. That's a fact, enqi, man. But I appreciate you for pulling up, Enq.
Hey, I appreciate you for creating the space. You know, like I pull up on everybody the same. If you got 2 followers or you got 2 million followers,
that's a fact.
I'm getting it in, because it's each one teach one. That's it. But it ain't each one teach 500,000 or it's not worth my time. No. It's each one teach one, and that's how you reach one. You know what I'm saying? So if I could just say anything to inspire a nigga to pick up an actual book with actual facts in it, we did our job for the day.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a whole fact, Enq. But yo, enqi, man, we gotta do this again. Just let me know. You know, you locked in my number, so we back in contact again, man. Cause you know I had your number before, but I had lost my other phone, so we back in contact again.
We lost platforms, phones, channels, all kinds of stuff happens. You know what I'm saying? But
so we gonna definitely do this again, enqi, man. Salute to everybody that pulled up. Shout out to Dr. enqi. Yo, Enq, man, plug in everything, man, that you got going on, man, so the people can go follow, big bro.
American Healer is my YouTube page. So just tap it with me over there. My YouTube page is American Healer. A lot of people be typing in, I can't find this nigga. I'm typing in Dr. enqi. You gotta go find American Healer. That's my like we did the whole rollout from American Gangster. So some people don't get the concept of the American Healer. We did the whole movie, that whole rollout from, because I was the only person that actually was going to get real CMOS. So everybody else that was selling CMOS, they was frauding. They was just saying, like, first of all, niggas was acting like CMOS is one thing. So like anybody with CMOS got the same thing. It's almost like strains of weed. Like, just because that's weed don't mean it's gumbo. Just because it's weed don't mean it's purple. You know, like that's you got weed, but what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like, people didn't even know. Right?
Yo, that CMOS. Enq, that CMOS do you good, bro.
That's a fact. But people that but people was fucking it up because you had people that was selling sea moss that didn't even know that sea moss was actually algae. Like I got Zip telling me that algae grow on trees. Like he trying to teach me about sea moss, and he said algae grow on trees. I'm like, yo, my guy. I'm like, yo, and so I never try to put up a promotion at the time. I'm like, "Sir, take that promotion down. I need people to see Zip's face as he's explaining to me that algae grow on trees. Like I need these people that's looking at this debate that somehow think Zip is winning. I need them to look at his face. You know how we used to roll dice back and they watch his face when he ace? Like I need people to see him saying that algae grow on trees so y'all can understand. He's covering up with bravado the fact that he don't know what he's talking about. And I had to go through the whole sea moss community. You know what I'm saying? Even King Erna, I had to get on King Erna's, you know, on King Erna's hiney paws because he didn't understand the sea moss, even though he was selling a hell of a lot of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
after I jumped out there into the sea moss community, kind of like what I'm doing in the dirty side, I had to jump out there in the sea moss community and get some clarity. Like, oh, first of all, sea moss and Irish moss is not the same thing. So if you ever purchase sea moss from Amazon and it got Irish moss and sea moss on it,
that's not sea moss.
That's a fraud business. That's not a real thing. Sea moss comes from the Caribbean. It comes from Africa. It comes from the equator. It's warm water algae. Irish moss is referring to the algae that grow in the cold water. The Chondrus crispus, the bladderwracks, the things like that. Totally different sets of mosses or algae that people consume for culinary purposes, dietary, holistic, all kind of other, you know. So I had to get the clarity in there. Like, hold on, man, y'all don't even know what's. And that's because everybody's selling it. These niggas just buying it from Amazon. You ain't never seen near one of these niggas actually go get it themselves. I'm the Frank Lucas of this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the first nigga you see go to the I'm the Frank Lucas of this shit. I'm going to go like so. We did the whole, you know what I'm saying? Then I had Ha Davis with me at the time, you know what I'm saying? So we did the whole scene between Denzel and Cuba Gooding. Like we did I was Denzel, Ha Davis was Cuba Gooding. We did a whole little, you know what I'm saying, to roll out the Blue Magic. And Blue Magic is my brand of my special brand of sea moss that's unique to, it's not a type. So you can't go get like, oh, I'm getting Chondrus crispus, so I'm getting this. It's not that. It's a certain blend that is signature. You know what I'm saying? And people was like, yo, well, how you just using the name Blue Magic? Like, nigga, because my pops was a Harlem heroin kingpin. I just, coming from a crime family, decided to go, you know, I drove by the fork in the road and went straight. You know what I'm saying? I made it, but I'm using that for a reason because, you know, we was a part of the death culture. So now, under that same name, we're gonna bring niggas back to life. We're gonna pump life into the babies. We're gonna pump life into the community, and you know, we're gonna change the narrative.
Yeah, that's gangster. That's gangster. I tell everybody that right there is gangster. Anything else, everybody talking gangster, pumping life into the community is gangster. Being a real man and being a original gentleman is gangster because that's original gentleman shit. They want to say gangster. I say original gentleman when I say OG because we dropping gems and knowledge on the babies. That's official.
Hey, my first understanding of OG was the older gods, because that's all it was back in the days was the gods. That's what we looked up to. You know what I'm saying? So even that shit kind of got twisted between me and Zip, because I'm like, yo, we got to go back to teaching the babies. He's like, oh, you want us to go back to when the gods were selling crack to pregnant women? I'm like, oh, I'm just saying we got to go back to prioritizing our younger generations. Like we got to prioritize putting them in a better position than we in. That's all I'm saying.
That's a fact. That's a fact. But yeah, yo, Ink, man, I want to salute you again, man. Thanks for pulling up, big bro. You know,
Yes, sir.
we gotta do this again, Ink. You know,
Yes,
just
sir.
let me know. We definitely a lock in one more time, man.
Of course, let's do it.
Yeah, salute to everybody for pulling up. This is a good one. Shout out to Dr. enqi. Shout out to everybody that came through. You know, it's all about each one, teach one. It's all about dropping gems and feeding the babies with knowledge. Without feeding the babies with knowledge, we don't have no hope for the future. So
Woo!
anytime when you got people talking the nonsense, you know, we off that, man. Cause if you ain't feeding your people with knowledge, man, we gotta get you up out of here, man. Simple and plain. We can't allow y'all to keep corrupting the youth and keep corrupting the community with the nonsense. We been there, we done that. That's now we on a whole nother level, whole nother atmosphere, whole nother frequency. It's about the higher frequency. It's not about the lower frequency. If you ain't with the higher frequency, you still on that lower shit, then I don't know what to tell you, man. A lot of these cats be on the lower frequency timing. It's just like the music and the movies. Y'all feeding into the lower frequency, man. It's time to get back higher, man. You know, long as we get back higher frequency and we get high vibrations, we start seeing the better in our community. It's all about betterment, man. So that's all I want to say, man. Salute to everybody tonight. Thanks for y'all pulling up. enqi, I'ma holler at you, bro. You already know, big bro.